So we're talking about all. They still have the majority. They're still going to have male parts. They do an ultrasound to see what they have. They do these blood tests to see what they have. It's still a male. It's not a female. They're not going to look at you're not going to look at a penis and say, "Oh, that's a female." You're not going to look at a vagina and say, "Oh, that's a male." And that's what people are getting confused about, and I just think that it's wrong. I think our society is under this delusion it's not real. Sorry, I don't understand how people think like this, because it's just not the truth. It seems like no matter what...
You haven't been able to back that stance.
Back what stance?
The stance that this isn't the truth. Your arguments have fallen flat, and you keep going back to it's your opinion. Thank you for the live fest.
It's my opinion, but it is the truth. I'm not under some delusion. Like, I don't think I was born as a female. I'm not going to do all this.
You keep calling it a delusion, but you haven't backed that. For it to be a delusion, it has to be something that doesn't exist in reality. And the reality is that trans people exist. And gender exists.
So you don't think that it can be kind of alarming? I mean, I've watched a lot of videos, documentaries over this. You don't think it's alarming when you take a male, they have something going on to where they're like, okay, well, I believe I'm a female, so I'm going to have this surgery to completely change myself. I'm going to cut off my penis. I'm going to change my hormones. I'm going to do all of this.
Y'all love to say cut off the penis, don't you? You love to say that.
No, I don't love to say it, but that is what happens, isn't it? In a gender...
No, it's not. It's not.
So
I had penile inversion, which basically means that they took my penis, which was outside my body, and they put it inside my body.
Okay. I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
This is like kind of a separate thing, but it kind of ties into like what we're talking about. Are you familiar with what ideological subversion is?
I'm not.
Okay. So ideological subversion, and you can watch it like on TikTok or wherever you want to watch it. It's a form of manipulation that you can see has been happening in our society. It's been happening. So Yuri Bezmenov is the person who talked about it. He was a former KGB agent. He was explaining this
ain't gonna make the point you think it's gonna make.
It's a form of manipulation to society.
That's exactly precisely what's happening.
Yes, no matter the truth.
No, it's precisely what's happening is that people are being convinced that trans people are invalid, that there are only two genders, and this is happening on a widespread scale, and it's spread by some of our government as well.
The manipulation that I feel like is going on in society is you have people that are confused about their gender. I can understand you went through a very long process to change to a female.
The end result being that I'm thriving, the happiest I've ever been. I am now able to exist in a way that I never dreamed possible. Like, I can look in the mirror and love what I see, and I can do what I love doing, which is this. And I can, when I think about me, the feelings that I get are that I am proud and that I am happy. I just could not be more proud of myself for how far I've come.
So I have a question. When did you realize, like, oh, I think that I'm a woman?
4 years old.
You were 4 years old. And
Yep.
Did you tell your parents? How old were you when you decided to tell them?
In my early to mid-20s.
So that was a long time that you went going without telling them.
Yep.
So you don't think that it's... Because my how I feel and how I know a lot of other people feel, they feel as if you think that you're born a male, you think you're a female, there's something mentally going on. Something formed wrong. So instead of getting like therapy or like receiving like mental health help, you just decided to have a
Do you know what the gender affirming care process is, especially for people under the age of 18?
I know that they have to go through a lot of therapy. I'm not sure
Yep.
how long that it
Yep.
is.
It's a minimum of 6 months, but typically it's a year plus.
Okay. And if you don't mind sharing what that therapy, like how that went for you.
I didn't get it as a child. I got it as an adult. The experience as an adult is very different than it is as a child.
It's very different.
Very different. So the criteria is just not even close to the same.
Do you know how it is like for children? Like say if a 4-year-old came
Yes.
to their parents saying, "Hey, I'm supposed to be a girl." So how would that go?
So yeah, they would typically like the parents are going to go to like a pediatrician and ask for some advice. Pediatrician will send them to a therapist, and the therapist will talk to the child for a minimum of 6 months, more likely a year plus. And they're going to look for insistence, persistence, and consistency. I do have a therapist here who would like to speak on this briefly. She only has a moment to talk.
Hi.
Hello,
Hello.
Mel.
So I've been listening to this whole conversation, and I want to premise this before I answer your questions with you've spent an awful lot of time doing your research, as you call it, to try and disprove an entire group of people. At the same time, you could have spent some time learning about that group of people and why these things happen instead of just trying to discredit them. Just saying.
Okay.
It's just very distant. I don't even think you know the definition of delusion because you've thrown it around in a way that it doesn't fit. There's 7 types of delusion in the DSM, and transgender is not one of them, shockingly.
And you don't think that it should be?
Absolutely not. It's not a delusion. It doesn't fit the definition of delusion. What are your questions about children? Because I actually can't stick around for long and entertain you.
I
So
think Cranbaby was specifically asking about therapy
For children?
for trans youth.
Right. So when children meet with a therapist who are thought to be trans, typically they've told their parents something like, I am a boy, I'm not a girl, what they are or what they're not. Typically they have not gone to their parents and said, I'm trans, especially younger youth. We look for a consistency that you will not see in children unless they are actually trans. Like kids do not, and this whole thing about, oh, they're pretending to be Superman. That doesn't fit this criteria. The criteria we look at is very specific and it's very consistent, which most children are not unless something really exists.
okay.
So these children will insist this for years. It's not something they say on a whim on a day because they're playing make-believe.
Okay. So it's something consistently that that child is saying.
Right, but we're talking about very specific criteria in the DSM that they will meet consistently, typically for 18 months to 2 years.
So is that how long the therapy is? The 18 months to 2 years?
It's as long as they need therapy, but before any other interventions are considered, that's typically how long a child will meet with a therapist.
Okay.
Except in very extreme cases where there's reasons to intervene sooner because it's between that or the child not functioning.
Okay.
Do you have any more questions, Cranbaby?
No, I guess not. I was hoping that I'd be able to change your mind, but I guess I can't.
How are you, like, change
If,
whose mind about what?
yeah, you would need to be
Adora
able to
has
back your
lived as a
claims.
yeah, Adora has lived as a trans woman. She's telling you about her experience. She's being vulnerable with you. And you're just throwing around words like delusion and thought and
No, I
terms
do.
that and conspiracy theories. Like, really?
No, I do appreciate Adora being vulnerable with me. I understand it's not that I understand personally, but I can only imagine it's not an easy thing to do. Going through the whole process to change your gender.
It's
But
Nobody's
extremely,
changing their
it's
gender.
extremely difficult. And yeah, not changing my gender, just going through the gender affirming care process.
just changing
She's
your
affirming her gender.
okay. Yes, but it's still, and I know this is what I've been saying consistently, and it's because it's the truth. It's not the truth. Trans woman, why do you have to put trans in front of it? If you truly feel like a woman,
You don't.
to put trans in front of it.
You don't have to put trans in front of it unless you're in a space where you need to differentiate. The same as you don't need to use cisgender unless you're in a space where the differentiation needs to be made. In any space outside of here or a medical space or another trans space, Adora refers to herself as a woman. She doesn't walk around saying, I'm a trans woman.
Okay, that's just not the truth, but okay.
All right. I think
And
we've gone as far as we can, baby.
Yeah, I don't. She's not
Yeah.
going to understand or get it.
well, you guys aren't going to understand either. That's okay for us to have different opinions.
Friend, baby, I
It's not
came.
an opinion. You understand? I have years of education to understand things like this.
And
It's
I
not an
can
opinion. There are science based research and facts that back up all of everything that Adora is saying. What you're saying is opinion.
where's the year the all the fact and all the research? The
Do
fact
you
is
think that
you're
do
born
you think that the W path was just developed overnight, or was it developed through what we call evidence-based research and evidence-based practices and best practices?
Friend, baby, I'm done at this point. We've gone as far as we're going
Okay.
to go. Yeah. So you
Sorry,
have a good
Adora.
day. No problem. Oh,
I'm gonna drop because I actually have to head into my office, but I just wanted to give you help because she was being very difficult.
she was. Oh my God. Thank you for all the baby dragons. Guys, I'm gonna use. Thank you. The baby dragon is also gonna count as a dinosaur. So every time you send a baby dragon, you get a.
Okay. Everyone, please. No one can hear me. Someone has to come on real quick. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me or am I muted? You can hear me? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Wow, we blew through that goal. Wow. Oh my God. I might have to set that a little higher. What is that? A 10 coin gift? It is. Damn. Holy shit, guys. We blew through that. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, guys, if you guys could tap that screen, let's get it up to 250,000. You know what? Let's set a big goal, guys. Let's set a big goal. I want to be live for at least another hour and 15 minutes. So let's get this up to 300,000 likes. I'm going to give you all 10 minutes to get it up to 300,000 likes. And if we don't make it by 10:56, chat's going off. So tap away, guys. 300,000 likes. Thank you so much for the hand heart. Okay. I have a lot of friends that want to come up. I'm going to bring up Lovable Lindsay real quick.
Hot Dog has been requesting for a while. Is Hot Dog here? Hot Dog is here. Yes. I'm gonna bring up Hot Dog first.
Hi, Adora.
Hello, lovable. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I'm 30.
Fantastic.
So,
And what would you like to do?
remember how, I don't know if you remember, but I told you I wanted to make you jewelry?
Yes.
Well, I made earrings, so I heard that you don't have your ears pierced. Are you planning on getting them pierced?
In like just over a week.
Oh, okay. Can I show you what I made to get your opinion real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. One second. Let me finish setting up this gift goal. Because right now I can't see. Um, this is a big gift goal, guys. So don't worry about going crazy on this one. This is probably just the one I'm going to let the live sit on. So don't go crazy trying to finish it. All right, yeah, go for it. Let me make you the big screen real quick.
Okay, they're inspired by your butterfly tattoo. So I'm just
Oh,
gonna
awesome.
preface
I
it.
can't make you the big screen. Why is it not letting me make you the big screen? 1 second. Let me wait for this little banner to go away. Sorry, we
No
can't see
worries.
anything. Rar, thank you for the baby dragon. Rar, thank you for the baby dragon. I wasn't raring for anyone. Rar, thank you for the baby dragon. Oh wow, that is awesome. Look at that. It still won't let me make you the big screen, but that is beautiful.
That's so weird, but yeah. Do you like them? Because I'll send
Wow.
them if you do.
That is absolutely beautiful. I love those. I love those so much.
Good.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem. I'm
Rar,
glad you
thank
like
you for the
them.
baby dragon. Look at that. I absolutely love it. I got something I want to show everyone. I'll be right back. 10 seconds. I got something I want to show everyone.
Okay.
Those are I love those.
Thank you.
The detail work in the wings. Oh,
Yeah,
so good.
I'm very meticulous with my jewelry. Like it takes me forever to make anything because I just love putting a lot of detail into everything.
Okay. So, first thing I want to say is spoil. If you know which surgeon I went to and you're going to that surgeon as well, spoilers. Like for real. If you know which surgeon I went to and you have a surgery scheduled or are thinking about getting a surgery with them, scroll on. You don't want to see this because what I'm about to show is really, really cool. And it's something. It's a surprise that, and I don't want to spoil it for people that are going to my surgeon. So if you went to my surgeon, or you know who my surgeon is, and you're planning on going, don't watch. Scroll back in a few seconds. But this is what I got once I completed my surgery. This is what they gave me on my last visit.
Aww.
Yeah. It's a real butterfly wing from I forgot the location. I have it all in my little thing over there. But yeah, it's from somewhere in South America. It's a real butterfly wing, and I love it because you can't really see it on camera, but on the edge right over here, yeah, it's super blurry. Like it ain't showing at all. There's a crack that runs in the glass right down here, and I think that crack is absolutely perfect because I had multiple complications with my surgery, and even though I had these complications, I still feel that my vagina is absolutely beautiful just the way it is. And I think this is a perfect representation of that because it's got its little tiny crack, but it's still absolutely beautiful.
Oh, that's
Rar, thank you for the tiny
awesome.
dining.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. So yeah, those
Also,
earrings look absolutely amazing. They would go fantastic with my necklace.
yeah, I love
Rar,
that
thank you
you
for the
love
tiny dining.
butterflies too because that's my favorite thing to work with. Like I just add butterflies to like almost everything I make.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the
But
next guest.
yeah,
But
no
thank you so
problem.
much,
Thank
Audible.
you.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Hello, hot dog.
Hello.
How's it going?
So I was supposed to have onboarding at Macy's today, and I forgot my ID, and they haven't called me back yet about rescheduling. So
Oh, geez, that sounds like a blast. Guys,
so
we
great.
blew past the 300,000 goal. Thank you so much. What? The user interface has changed mid live. Like when I click on people's boxes, there's nothing. There's nothing on the panel. None of the buttons are there.
Instead, I'm gonna
I've lost my
say
user interface.
someone's moving Slay Grammy. This is definitely something my grandmother would wear.
Hello, Kasia. How's it going?
I'm feeling a little better. I actually really wanted to just talk to that last guest, the grandbaby one, because she just wasn't getting it.
No, yeah.
But can I ask if you could ask your followers to follow my backup?
Is this your backup?
No, this is my normal. You know what? Let me come back on my backup. How about that?
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that. Hello, Poochie.
Oh, thank you for having me. How are you today?
Doing all right? How old are you, please?
You forgot me. That's okay. I'm old, 51, 1972.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. No worries, sweetie. You got thousands of followers. Like, you're not going to remember this one. But anyway, I was going to let everybody else talk first. Go ahead. Turn off this stuff.
Are you looking to talk about the topic?
Yeah, just kind of, well, from what I was hearing your last speaker on there, that was quite challenging. And I just have to say, just anyone that even like, I am not a genetics expert, but even if you understand basic genetics and understand there are different chromosomes other than male and female, you can start to learn to try to understand this, And so it's just crazy that people aren't even, I don't think people really make the effort sometimes, if that makes sense.
I agree, 100%, Poochie.
And a couple points, this is kind of, may I address the commenters a little bit, the ones that are
briefly? I do need to get some opposition up here, but go
certainly.
for it.
Okay, so here's one thing we're seeing as women. I'm addressing women. Just because we often feel very unappreciated by our male counterparts, it is not an excuse to attack trans women. I think trans women get the brunt of this anger because we're so frustrated with men. So now we take it out on transgender women. And it's like, whether you can have children or not never makes you less of a woman. So that's just the dumbest argument I hear continuing. And then the one other last thing I just want to bring up, people are worried about your children being persuaded or manipulated. I'm here to tell you that I'm pretty sure I've never known a gay, lesbian, or trans person that woke up one day and said, hey, I want to be trans, or I want to be gay, or I want to be lesbian, because we know how horrible society is. So anyone, and the fact that women put up with so much nonsense from men should tell you it's not a choice. I mean, that's just a fact.
Yes.
But anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I love you to death, and you have a wonderful day, and you just keep doing what you're doing, okay, sweetheart?
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Take
your
care. You too. Bye-bye.
Adora, I am opposition, okay? I'm going to try. I'm going to try really hard.
Okay.
Hot dog, how the fuck can you look so fresh today? You look amazing. You look great, hot dog.
Who knows?
And Adora, can you just stop being so beautiful?
I don't know if that's possible.
I spent
Adora,
time
stop.
making my style just baggy jeans and t-shirts. Like bad fitting jeans, not even like cute baggy.
I'm opposed to you looking that beautiful in the morning, and some of us actually have to comb our hair.
I've been up since 5 a.m.
Have you?
I went live at 6 a.m.
Aw. But I'm only going to be here for a couple more minutes because I have my course, I guess, at 8 o'clock. But I'll stay on in case it's not that time. But yeah.
Okay. Everyone, please follow Kasia's backup account right here. Kasia is an absolutely amazing person and hosts lives of her own where she educates people. Rar, thank you so much for the baby dragon. Appreciate it. But yes, everyone, please follow Two Spirit, please. All right, we're gonna bring up some op now. We are looking for op.
I'd love to show you guys what I actually look like sometimes, because this is a picture of me. It's a real picture.
Ooh, Reggie's live. We'll have to raid Reggie when this live is over. This guest is not connecting. Oh, fucking hell. I love how TikTok just literally falls apart. Okay, this guest isn't connecting. Southern breed. Hello, Southern Breed. Rar, thank you for the baby dragon. Southern Breed, you with me? If you're talking, I cannot hear you, Southern Breed. Yes, Danielle, I have been live since 6 a.m. Long live today. Rar, thank you for the baby dragon. Rar, thank you for the baby dragon.
I guess I have to show the full fit real quick. Give me a second.
Thank you for the cat claws. Cat paws.
Hello.
Hello, Kelly. How you doing? Rar,
Hi.
thank you for the baby dragon. How old are you, please?
I'm 39.
39. Awesome. And is being transgender immoral?
No, I actually just came on to say something real quick. I'm a friendly, but I'm going to be super fast. I'm just, if I have to see one more comment about shoving it down the children's throats, Listen,
Oh my God, yeah.
I have an 8-year-old daughter, okay? And I have a 3-year-old autistic son, okay? My daughter, who is 8, is, she has lots of uncles, let's say that. My husband works with a lot of gay men, and we teach in our household, love is love. You can love whoever you want. You know, whatever. So she sees males with males all the time. Another example, my hairdresser, she knew my hairdresser because I do makeup professionally. And when I worked at a certain salon, this individual, they weren't transitioned yet. So she saw, she knew the person as their dead name. Okay, my daughter. And she was then, I think, six when that happened. And she now knows them as who they are, which is a man. And guess what? She's still a normal, regular 8-year-old little girl that likes to do the regular things and isn't saying, Mommy, I want to be like that. And Mommy, I want to do that. She's a regular 8-year-old. Did she have some questions? Of course.
Yep.
And that's normal. We should be teaching them so that when, you know, it's just, I'm so sick of everyone thinking just because if we teach it to them, it's going to change their mind. This is not something that you want. It's something, it's the way you're born. Like people don't, I can't take it.
But the children!
Kelly, I appreciate you so much, Kelly. I am going to drop you down, though. I really appreciate the support, though.
Okay. Love you
You have a
guys.
good day.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kelly.
Bye.
But we have to force the children to be hetero. We do. We have to force the children to be hetero. How dare we teach them?
So we are going to be sub only for the remainder of the live, guys. Now, I normally go sub only for the last hour of my live, and here we are. The last hour of my live. Up to an additional hour can be added though through subscriptions. Hi, Mel. Hello, Taylor.
Hi, I just want to tell you that you're adorable. I support you. It is not immoral because we are human beings and everyone deserves respect and love, and you deserve it just as anybody else. So I support you 100%. You are amazing. Please keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I still can't. I'm going to keep clicking on people's squares. I'm going to keep doing it, even though it's not working. All right, Courtney had a really, really bad audio last time. Let's try Courtney again. How you doing, Courtney?
Oh, no. Okay, good. I thought I was going to put my video on. Okay, so I don't think being trans is immoral. I think that if
I
you
do
with
need
the
to know your
trans-
age first.
Oh, okay. I'm 29, 1994.
Okay,
I
fantastic.
actually just had my birthday a few days ago. So I don't think it's immoral being trans. I think what happens is a lack of education in the program, but not the program. That's not the right fucking word. The community. There we go. And the people that have tried, not you, for instance. Jenna's a little left field with it. She goes a little crazy and attacks versus educating. And so I think it scares people. So, for instance, earlier we talked about teaching genders or sex in school. As a mom, that does kind of scare me because I don't
Why?
know.
Let's talk about that. Why is that scary?
It's because I don't know a lot about the trans community. Now I'm one. I will.
You know why you don't know a lot about the trans community?
Because nobody's taught me.
Exactly.
So I feel like it's as parents' jobs, it's our job to kind of support and teach our children that. But if we still lack the fundamental knowledge of it all as a whole, then we don't have what we need to be able to teach our children.
Right.
Can I share one thing, Adora?
Go for it.
Courtney, why do you think you don't know about transgender topics and such?
Well,
Yeah, that's where I was going to.
Growing up, like I was never exposed to that community.
Okay,
Like,
so what if I told you that gender was celebrated, celebrated, different diversity, or gender as a diverse knowledge before colonialism? And then what if I told you that history is taught by the guy with the bigger stick? Would you all of a sudden question maybe things like American Thanksgiving, or as we in Canada like to call American Thanksgiving, Thursday?
I can see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm not saying I don't think it should not be taught in school, because at some point, like I said, growing up, like my generation is a generation that was never exposed to the transgender community. So, like, how will we ever teach our children, grandchildren, and for future generations about
you can't teach them if you're not taught yourself. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, that's the point, is that you're not educated on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to create a society in which people are educated on it is to teach the children now. So they grow up and they know and they can teach their children.
Yes, I agree with that, because I do feel like a lot of the problems in the trans community of being attacked by others is just lack of education. I literally listened to Cran Baby, or whatever her name was, not only degrade cis women, but also degrade the entire trans community. Because she just had the lack of education in the community.
Yeah, and the thing is, no one needs to be taught about trans people to know that they are trans. They just need to be taught to know that they're not, like, there's nothing wrong with them.
Exactly. So, like, with the children, like, I'm a mother that no matter what, my child can come to me and tell me they're gay. My child can come to me, my son can come to me and tell me he's a woman, or vice versa with my daughter. I'm going to be a mom that's going to support my kid through and through. I may not know how to support them the way I need to, because I do lack that education, but I'm going to try my damnedest to.
I talk about so technically they're my third cousin, but my grandparents and their grandparents were like brothers, and then all 6 children were like siblings. So they're almost like my first cousins. The relationship is more like their first cousins. I think she's 11 now, and she actually came out before I did as a trans girl, about 2 or 3 years ago. And there's another like 4 cousins that are in their age range. None of them are trans, so it's not like people are being influenced to be trans, or else
No,
more
and
of
I
us
think
would be. And I'm 13 years older than her.
Yeah, I think people lack the fundamental knowledge on how influencing works. Influences do happen with children, as simple as like seeing somebody dye their hair red and now that child wants their hair red. But no child is going to look at a person in the trans community and be like, you know what, I think I want to do that too. I just don't see how exposing our children to the knowledge is going to influence them to think they need to change their entire self.
Exactly. It's not going to influence them.
So I'm not against the trans community. I'm just lack the proper knowledge. Like I don't even know the appropriate questions to ask. I don't know.
Right. And it's, Courtney, you're welcome to ask whatever questions you have, I promise you. But that's why we advocate for education in schools.
I do feel like though when the education does start in school, it does need to be like maybe middle school and up, because the younger kids who are just now learning to even just be a human and talk and learn to read and write won't have the knowledge to like with the to
Do
hold that.
transgender kids exist?
Say that again.
Do trans kids exist?
Honestly, I don't. I would assume yes, but I don't know. I've never seen a trans child.
I'm a trans adult, and I was a trans kid. All trans people were trans kids. So yes, I existed.
So at what age would be the appropriate age to start to teach our children this, in your opinion?
There's no age that's too young for this. I mean, we could teach age appropriate things at any level. Gender identity typically develops by the age of 7 at the absolute latest. So yeah, it is 100% okay
So
to
as
teach kids of that age.
In the trans community, do y'all feel like it is wrong? Because this is how I grew up. Okay, first of all, I grew up in the South. Okay, we were taught boy, girl. That's what you are. That's how we're gonna raise you. I have a 6, 5, and 4-year-old, and so I have raised them as a boy and a girl.
Bye, Gasha. Thank you.
So what would be the appropriate measures to teach my children this? Because in the South, they do not allow any conversation like this in school.
Yeah, which is a problem. Which is why we need to vote out Republicans.
I'm a Republican, but I support the trans community.
No, you don't.
Not if you vote Republican, you don't. So, Courtney, I want to stress that I don't believe, Courtney, that you wish harm on the trans community, but you are doing harm by voting for Republicans.
But the thing is though, like as a Republican, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with in the Democratic community. But there's a lot of things I do agree with in the Republican, but also things I don't agree with. If that makes sense.
Are you familiar with Project 2025?
No. Maybe.
Project 2025 is one of the biggest movements on the platform for Republican legislators. And are you voting? Do you vote?
I haven't voted the last couple of years because I just have not liked either party's people that are running. That is probably terrible, but I have not liked any of the Democratic or Republican parties.
I don't want to change the subject off the political part, but can I ask my question?
Courtney, sorry. Hi, Jaden. Yes, you can ask your question.
Okay, Adora. I don't like to interrupt, and I don't want to derail the conversation either. But Courtney, do you mind sharing with me again how old you said your children were?
6, 5, and 4.
Okay, so I have a daughter who is slowly approaching 2 years old. And my question is basically going to be like a hypothetical analogy. Like, let's say I was at a park and I also have a husband. So my daughter has 2 dads. I was at a park and you were also at that park and your children were playing. Let's say our children were having a good time together and your youngest child came up to me and asked if my child was adopted because she sees that my child has 2 dads. And I said no, because I'm a trans man who gave birth to my child. How would you respond to me being honest with your child?
I would rather you be honest with my child instead of lying to my child.
Okay, so do you feel like, sorry, were you finished?
I just wouldn't know how to explain it. Like I said, the lack of education.
Exactly. That's kind of my point into asking you this, is because if we don't implement this into the schooling system, me being in society with my child, there are some parents who would get mad at me for being honest because now they have to explain, but they don't know the answers to those questions. So if your child is exposed to different family dynamics and how humans are diverse at an earlier age, they're not going to have to run to you and ask you these questions. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if your child's in kindergarten and they're reading books to them about how there was a dad who gave birth to a baby because he was born with the body parts to do so, they wouldn't have to run to you and ask you. They would be like, "Mommy, I learned about a man who had a baby today." And then you could be like, "Oh my goodness, that's so cool," or however you would respond.
Okay, so what would be the what would be the appropriate way to start teaching my children this, I guess, would be the question.
Well, for me, yeah, go ahead, Adora.
I was to say just teaching them about gender in the first place. Just saying that some people are boys, some people are girls, some people are something in between, because sex is not gender is not a binary. Encouraging them to explore their gender and see what feels right for them. And if they end up realizing that maybe they feel like a girl, even though everyone is telling them a boy, tell them that that's okay. It's okay. Just because everyone else is telling you you're a boy doesn't mean that you are one. The only person who knows what you are is you.
Okay, that makes sense. See, I had a similar situation. So my actually 6-year-old now, when he still does it from time to time, but he likes to wear dresses to play and dress up in at home. And there was a point at a time when my husband and I lived with my mom for a little while we were looking for a house, and it became a whole fight about how my child is not allowed to wear dresses. My mother, mind you, was yelling at this to my child, and I just expressed to her that, one, he's young, he's gonna want to wear what makes him feel good, and if wearing the dress is what's making him feel good right now, then I'm going to allow him to wear the dress.
Guys, we need 3 more subs in the next 4 minutes to complete the sub wave. 3 more subs. Y'all get new emotes if we
like
get
a
completed.
way of being able to be supportive in that way of my child's gender, which I guess I'm still confused on the gender and sex thing. Like I said, I'm very lack the education. In the South, we are not taught it at all.
That would be a form of gender expression. Just because you said son likes to wear dresses, that doesn't necessarily indicate that he would be trans. Like, we also forget to think about dresses are flowy. So it could also be a sensory thing too. Like, this just feels really good on my body. I like the breezes I'm getting on my knees. So it's not always like, oh, I want to be a girl, so let me wear a dress.
Well, no, and that's not where I was getting at that with, but it's like allowing them to express themselves in that manner, and instead of like instantly be like, no, you have to go wear your boy clothes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Like I said, I think what really needs to happen is just like y'all said, I don't mind it being taught in the schools. Now, I do feel like it's important because it is in society. Now, there's way more cis people than there are trans people. And people seem to think that all of a sudden, if it's taught in school, that every child is going to become trans. And
yep, that's the true thing that they think.
It's so we can be supportive of our children who are.
I suggest you look into some of the Democratic platforms on LGBTQ education, because it's comprehensive. It's not like we're just gonna throw kindergartners into a class about the exact process of how a penile inversion and peritoneal pull-through work for a trans woman to get a surgery. It's more just going to be like, hey, I'm going to use Jaden as an example. Hey, this is a really cool human being who just is a man who has the parts to make babies, or whatever. It might be a little bit even easier than that.
Okay, so where would be the best place to start looking that up? Is there a lot of educational videos on it on TikTok? Is it be a thing I need to Google and research more on?
So I haven't I think New Jersey has a really good program for it because they've started to introduce it. If you look into like New Jersey curriculums about it, Massachusetts I think also has a curriculum. Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of it is just being talked about, even in Congress, about how to introduce this and make it work to reduce the amount of bigotry.
Okay. So you said New Jersey and Massachusetts.
I think so, yes. I know there's a few Democratic states doing it.
Okay, and one more time, what did you say the thing is being passed as?
I'm not exactly sure about the name. You can look up comprehensive LGBTQ education or comprehensive gender identity and sexual orientation education. And there's definitely curriculums out there being proposed by therapists and mental health professionals, and even like they're starting to talk about it in Congress, and even state legislatures.
Okay.
Oh, and Trevor Project as well.
And also one more thing, if you wanted to inbox me, I could give you a list of children's books that like explains it on a comprehensive level so that you can understand, and you'll be able to teach it to your children at a comprehensive level that they can also understand. Because I have a lot of books for my own child.
I would love that, because I would love to be able to teach my children, because I try my best as a mother to teach my children to love everyone. That we don't judge anyone, no matter what, their race, their gender, their sexuality, none of that. So I would love to be able to completely educate my children on the fact that it is okay and it is part of society, and that we welcome everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you want to give me, shoot me a message so I don't forget to give you a little bit of those books that are like super simple, super easy. I would always love to do that for you. And thank you, Adora, for having me up here. I'm going to drop so you can get back to your shenanigans.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I sent you a follow, Jaden, so I can message you.
All right, Courtney, was there anything else?
No, that would be it. Thank y'all so much for having me.
You have a good one. Bye.
You as well.
Okay. All right. Guys, keep tapping that screen. Let's get it up to 375,000. We haven't hit 400,000 likes in a while, guys. We have a real chance of doing that. Okay, so what was I going to say? I had something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, guys, you know what this means? You know what this necklace means? It means I fucking did it. It means I fucking did it. That's what it means. That's what this necklace means. There's a reason that I don't wear this. There's a reason that I keep it hidden away. Because I don't ever want to lose this. I did it, guys. I did it. All right, let's bring up some opposition. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who is sending gifts. I appreciate them so much. It is because of you all that I can do this full time. So all gifts are appreciated, no matter how large, no matter how small. I just want to remind everyone that please, if you have to choose between a coffee or sending me a gift, choose the coffee. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate you. Thank you for the roses. All right, this guest is not connecting. You'll find coffee somewhere else. All right. I'd never be able to sub if that were how it worked. Hello, Kimocha. You there? Kimocha? I hear you. I just don't hear you saying anything.
I didn't request Adora, but I absolutely love you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
I didn't even touch my phone, but I'm here every day, and I love you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the support.
And you learn.
Oh, sorry, I dropped a little bit fast, but
That was a cute little text tone.
it was.
I have a dilemma. I got this lavender hand sanitizer, and I keep using it because it smells so good. But that's not good because my hands are going to start cracking.
Hello, Tilly. How you doing?
Hi, Adora. You okay? I'm from England. Obviously, the rules are kind of different in the UK. So, obviously, I just wanted to kind of explain the situation on that. I don't believe that it should be exposed to young children at
Okay,
all.
hang on. I need to know your age first.
My age, I'm 22,
And what year were you born?
2001.
Okay. And why should being transgender not be exposed to young children?
Because I don't think children need to learn about that. Children need to be learning their ABCs. They don't need to be learning about
Right. I want
this
to know what the harm is. What would the harm be in
the
in
harm.
kids?
The harm is that obviously children are being given ideologies and like being
Transgender is not an ideology.
well, children are being persuaded to be trans. It's a fact. Like,
are you
transgender?
Okay, but can I finish? Yes, I am. But can I finish what I'm saying because you keep interrupting
Finish what
me?
you're saying.
Dog, be quiet. Sit down. Sit down. So obviously what I'm saying is it's all reverse psychology. So basically they hire all these psychiatrists to tell you that, they pay all of these psychiatrists to say, oh, you're not this, you're not trans, for all these years, so that you believe more that you actually are as a child. Do you know what I mean? And some children aren't, which is why there's so many detransitioning cases, you know?
There aren't. Okay, so my question to you is, could you be influenced to be cisgender?
No.
Of course not, because you're transgender.
I'm an adult.
Okay, as a child, could you have been influenced to be cisgender?
Yes, I could, because I was.
Meaning that you
for a
would
long
not have
time.
transitioned, you would not recognize yourself as transgender, you would not. How do you identify?
Yes, as trans.
Male, as a man, a woman, non-binary.
Female.
A woman. Okay, fantastic. So you could have been influenced to not identify as a woman as a child.
Exactly, yeah, there's people that do that. My mum wasn't agreeable with it at all. My mum used to poke my head into the wall and tell me the opposite.
Transgender kids can be pressured into hiding away, but that doesn't change who we are.
I would.
Okay, but
this is a perfect time to bring up.
Wait. If trans kids can be convinced that they're not trans, then kids that are not trans can be convinced that they are. You know, and be led to believe that.
Convinced to not be trans. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it was going to be one point. Like Adora said, this can't happen. I was about to tell you why it can't happen. Mm-hmm. So first, we have a meta-analysis. I think it's on 98 studies. No, sorry, it was 98,000 people across, I forget the number of studies. But it was a meta-analysis on a very large amount of trans people, 12% of whom had experienced sexual orientation and gender identity change efforts. I forget the exact percentages, but I know for a fact the percentage of increase in self-unaliving success rates. So somebody who does end up unaliving themselves increases by 200%.
Okay.
They're twice as likely to ultimately self-unalive. We can also look at a case which right-wing people love to use against trans people when that's not actually what it supports. Have you ever heard of John Money?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so John Money was a psychotherapist, and a child had a botched circumcision. A male child had a botched circumcision to the point that they ended up just turning it into a vagina. So the psychotherapist said, oh, just raise this kid as a girl. So raise this male child as a girl and everything will be fine. that child ended up self-unaliving because it just wasn't right. Like, they knew that they weren't a girl, even though they were told never tell him that this happened. Just raise him as if he was a girl, and he wasn't, and he ended up self-unaliving. You can't force people to be trans. You can't force people to be cis. It all ends up in self-unaliving. And the thing about gender, and still making the same point, the thing about gender affirming care is it reduces self-unaliving ideation by 73%. Those numbers wouldn't be able to work together unless influence was impossible.
Okay, but do
It's
you know?
not possible.
Do you actually know the statistics on unaliving? And do you know that when more people commit suicide after they've transitioned than before?
No, that's actually not true.
That is very much
73% reduction.
It's literally
No,
not.
so I know exactly what study you think you're referencing, or the study that whatever
No, it's
somebody
not about.
told
No,
you.
wait. It's not about what I think I'm. It's not about what I think I'm referencing, and it's not about what someone told me. I have been through this myself as a child. I've been going through this since 9 years old. So it's not about what anyone's told me. It's about
So
the
it's
care
anecdotal. Your experience is completely and totally
I've
anecdotal then.
received professionals, and it's about my own
Yeah, so
experience.
that's anecdote.
Okay, but I'm not finished talking, so why do you both
I
keep
wasn't
attacking?
either.
I'm not finished
I
talking, though.
wasn't
I let you
either.
both speak and didn't interrupt you. Okay, that's fine, but I didn't.
Okay. Hot dog, you were saying.
I forget now. I'll contend with her point, whatever it is.
Okay. All right. Tilly, you can unmute. Oh, my buttons are all working again randomly.
And this is an example as to why you don't like the truth. Do you know what I mean? You fully just muted me whilst I was talking, so clearly you don't like what you're hearing. I didn't interrupt you once when you were
It's
both
100%
talking.
true that I do not like what I'm
And
hearing.
you're doing it again. You're interrupting me again, but you muted me when I was talking.
Yeah,
Why?
I gave you the
And I
floor
didn't
even though you
interrupt. And
interrupted me.
wait, no,
I
wait.
gave you the
I didn't
floor
interrupt
even though you
The floor is
interrupted.
yours, and you're
I
choosing
didn't
to use it
interrupt you
to
at
talk
all.
about how you were muted. Tilly, I have a rule against people paying to kick transgender guests. However, I myself get to kick transgender guests whenever the hell I want to. And I'm not seeing much of a point in continuing the conversation with you.
That's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
You can do that.
I remember
That's
now.
fine.
So you wasted your time on the floor. Anyway, so shit, it's gone again.
It was something about the study that they were going to reference.
Oh, yes. Okay. So the study says that self-unaliving rates still remain high, but they are still lower than before getting gender-affirming surgeries.
Okay, so how many suicides do you hear on a daily basis of trans children committing suicide or trans people committing suicide before they've transitioned?
I don't
what are the
know the
statistics
count.
for
I know a
that?
percent. 56% of trans children have self-unaliving ideation.
Okay, but
About
how
2%
many
of
have actually
trans
committed
kids. Oh,
suicide?
it was 2% of trans kids succeed.
Okay, that's 2%. There's more when people transition than before they transition. That's a fact.
That's
So
not true.
that is the fact. If it's 2%, there's definitely more that commit suicide. You hear more about people committing suicide.
The study that I'm not sure if you can I get the link to the study or the IOD number. I think it's DOI number. My bad. DOI
Tilly,
number.
I need you to stop saying the S word. I need you to start saying unalive.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, I apologize.
Can I get the DOI number from the study that you're referencing?
Okay, yeah, 1 second. Let me go on my phone.
Because often when people bring this up, actually every time anyone has brought this up, the study doesn't corroborate what they're saying.
How's everyone doing? Guys, keep tapping that screen. We're trying to hit 400,000 likes within the next 48 minutes. So keep tapping away. Please share the live as well. If you see value in these conversations and you want to see more of them, please consider giving me a follow. I go live twice a day, 5 days a week. I'm trying to hit 100,000 followers by the end of the year. We are up 116 followers right now, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'd love to see that number hit 200.
Mel, the social worker Mel.
Okay, so it's frontiers.org, www.frontiersin.org, and it basically says that suicide occurs more often in older
Can't use the S word, please, Tilly.
than younger people.
Can't
Oh,
use the S
sorry.
word.
Unaliving happens in older people more so than younger people. Younger people have the feeling to do that, but they don't do it. I mean, it's not about statistics, and it's not all about these numbers. It doesn't have to be all about.
Wait, hold on real quick. Just a clarifying
Okay.
question. I didn't
I've literally been on mute for ages, and then when I'm trying to speak, you keep
asking you a
interrupting me, trying to
clarifying
take me off.
question so I can
You're trying to
understand your
take me off
point better.
topic. No, I know exactly what you're trying to do.
No, I'm asking you to just repeat a little bit slower where I can read this. I can still listen and read at the same time. And I want to hear your point, but I can't do so if I can't read along with what you're saying. So I'm asking you to a little bit slowly repeat where I can read this.
I don't take a breath when I'm talking, because every time I talk, I'm interrupted by either Hot Dog or Adora, or I'm muted, you know, so I have to say as much as
I only interrupted you when
I
you
wasn't
interrupted
really
me.
listening to the question.
I only interrupted you when you interrupted me.
But what do I need to learn about? Like,
we want the DOI number so we can read along with you, or the title, or something.
But it's
we
like,
want to be able to read along
you
with
don't
you.
need. Okay, but do you need a DIY number? Just look at magazines, look at newspapers. You'll see how many people commit suicide on a regular basis, and how many people think about committing suicide.
I'm asking you for what you are reading, so I can also read it.
Okay, well, I did state what I was reading to you about 10 minutes
And
ago.
I couldn't understand you. Your accent is a little bit thick. I can usually understand through accents, but you were talking quickly, and I'm fucking autistic, so I'm asking you to fucking repeat yourself.
Why are you getting aggressive? Why are you swearing? You don't need to swear.
Because you got aggressive.
Exactly.
Holy shit! Like, literally, can you please repeat yourself? And then just that word fucking salad. It's not what I wanted to say.
Stefania, the only reason I stopped asking for PMIDs is because the end of a DOI number is about the same amount of numbers, and I'm good at remembering numbers, so it's more universal. So a PMID is a little bit less universal than a DOI because more studies will have a DOI than a PMID.
Okay. Guys, please keep tapping the screen. We're so close to 400,000. I know we can do it. Every new subscriber adds 2 minutes to the timer. And if you do subscribe to my channel, not only do you get access to the sub-only chat down here, but you get permanent access to sub-only chat on my Discord. If you want permanent lifetime sub-only chat at your leisure, join my Discord by subscribing. And yeah, I have a live chat going in the background, and it is permanent sub-only.
Oh, was I might have been wrong. Apparently DOI is the same for different articles.
Hello, Melanie.
I haven't seen.
You with me, Melanie, 1973? I don't think you're with me, Melanie, 1973. But at least we know what year you're born. Guys, my Discord has taken on a personality of its own. Like, I don't even know what my Discord is anymore. I don't.
Onions.
Hello, Raspu. You with me, Raspu? Okay, no Raspu. Definitely still onions, but they get on their own things every now and then.
Wait, Adora, can you bring me up in like 10 seconds? I just have to do something real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Oh, apparently
retired. Onions are retiring. Okay, what? Why are onions retiring? Someone says no, they aren't. Someone says never. Onions have retired. Onions don't look too retired right now. Onions are retiring because beans? That is a gorgeous woman. Look at that black lipstick. Holy fuck. Jesus.
How to get into the Discord?
what?
There should be a down here under benefits. You should be able to click on the Discord role down there.
Wait, I'm sorry. Onions are what now?
Retiring.
I did not. Damn it.
Hello, Lauren.
Hi, Adora.
You've been on before, right?
Yeah, I've been up before. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
I support the trans community. I'm trying to learn. I watch your lives every day so that I can learn, or every day that I can. Unfortunately, because I'm in Scotland, the time zones are really different from me. So when you go live at 8 p.m., that's midnight or 1 a.m. here. So, yeah, sometimes I can't catch the nighttime lives, which is sad for me. But, I just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, go for it. What? Thank you for the sub. Thank you so much.
So, I'm confused about how non-binary falls into transgender. I have non-binary friends. I don't really talk to them about how they fall into the transgender category. But I'm wondering how that is a thing, because I thought to be transgender meant that you were changing your gender. So
It's a common misconception. Transgender does not mean that you are changing your gender. You can't actually change your gender. You can affirm your gender. You can't change it. What transgender means is that your sex and your gender do not align.
okay, but then how does non-binary mean that your sex and gender don't align?
I mean, if you're assigned male at birth, if you're assigned female at birth, and you identify as non-binary, that means that your sex and gender don't align, because male and female are binary, and non-binary isn't. So there's a misalignment there. Therefore, non-binary is transgender.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got you. And just while I'm here, I thought I would just ask as well. So, in terms of like introducing it to schools, I'm definitely for that. I think children do need to learn about, they need to learn about different people, for diversity reasons, etc. But I don't really know how you introduce this into children without making them confused.
We underestimate kids so much. It's really, really simple. All you got to do is say that sometimes someone that we thought was a girl is actually a boy, and depending on the child, that's frequently all you got to do. That's frequently it.
Yeah, okay. It's just I don't know how you would explain it without it kind of being related to sex. Like, related gender and sex are obviously different things, but I don't know how you can explain transgender without it, referring to sex.
I'm sorry, what was that? My chat is distracting me with the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen.
Oh, so like, I don't know how you would kind of introduce that without it relating to, I know sex and gender are different things, but how would you introduce it to children without just talking about sex, without talking about, genitalia, etc.?
Right, you don't have to, because gender is not related to your genitalia. I didn't recognize myself as a girl because I had a penis. That's for sure. And I think that most kids can recognize their gender separate from what's between their legs. So yeah, when you tell someone about gender, you do not have to talk about genitalia, because gender is a set of expressions and behaviors, etc.
Yeah.
They're either instinctual or they are learned, but they are a set of expressions, statements, and behaviors.
Okay, that makes sense. Can I just say to the person in the chat who's saying that I've been on here and never learned, etc., that's really rude. The reason that Adora does these lives is to educate people. So if you'd actually watched the lives, you would know that she's doing this to educate people and to ask questions. So therefore, that point is invalid and you shouldn't be so judgmental. Anyway, sorry. Thank you for educating me. Thank you for always having me up usually when I request you always have me up, so thank you, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, you have a good one. So, Hot Dog, what were you doing that apparently you wasted your time to do?
Check my new screen name.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, I can't read what it says. It's cut off on my screen.
Hot dog with onions.
Hot dog with onions. Oh my god.
And that's how I order my hot dogs anyway.
Oh my god. Of course, right when onions are retiring. I guess. I don't know.
I'm bringing in the back. Y'all aren't allowed to let it go for at least 7 days.
Okay, onions taste amazing. The texture sucks. The texture sucks.
I kind of like the texture.
Ew. Ew.
Like, I'll just be chopping onions to cook with or whatever, and I'll like eat pieces of it and end up with half the amount I'm supposed to.
Guys, y'all got to make Hot Dog feel better and change your names.
Yes.
We already got all the Momo fats. It's time for the onions.
Yes. Do it.
All right. Next up, we are looking for opposition, guys. We are light on requests, so it might be hard to find opposition. Actually, we have no opposition. We have nobody. We have a friend. Hello, Autumn Breeze.
Hey, what's up?
How old are you, please?
30.
Oh, yeah, geez. I don't know why I asked that. I'm sorry. I don't know why I asked. I know who you are.
I'm still not used to telling people I'm 30.
All right. Okay, guys, if you want more discussions to happen in the next 40 minutes, we need to get back on the FYP. And in order to get on the FYP, you got to tap the fuck out of that stream. Tap like crazy, share the live, comment, do it all, guys. Tap, share, comment. Whatever you got to do to get us back on the FYP.
Adora, I named my Ralts after you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Hello, hottest trends. You are off the app and I cannot hear you. You there? Hottest trends? You are not there. Okay. How do you get live access? Generally, you need 200 followers to join the box. You need 1,000 followers to go live yourself. Jamal for onions.
I like onions on my animal fries.
Onions and ants.
Hey, how y'all
Hello,
doing?
Matthew.
I'm all right. I've seen your live stream a few times, and it's actually helped me out a lot with being able to be respectful towards some people in the trans community. But I have a question.
I do need to know how old you are first.
Oh, I'm 30.
Fantastic.
April 2nd, 1993.
Yep.
Cool. So, so it's LGBTQ plus, right?
Yep.
Right. That's the letters for it. So
I mean, there's any number of combinations for the acronym, but that is one of them.
Okay, cool. So, but trans doesn't necessarily mean that you are gay or straight.
Correct.
Right. So trans has to do with gender, not sexuality. Right.
Correct. Yep.
So why is it in the same? Why?
I knew that.
I'm just confused.
Yeah. So the reason for it being in the same acronym is because we're ostracized for the same reasons. It all started out as like this stereotype that we are sexual deviants. So like the same bigotry applies to both of us, to all of us. I mean.
Okay, so that makes sense. That makes a little bit of sense. I was just curious about that, but like also not trying to be respectful. I'm not that smart. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Even when I read stuff, I'm not good with reading. Like,
Hey, don't downplay
but
yourself.
I see so many people in the trans community doing this, having words on the screen that sometimes would bother some people. Like my favorite one you did was the men can get pregnant. That threw so many people through a loop, and I loved it. But like, there's so many bad things going on in the world. Why is this what people are spending their time talking about? Like, I don't know.
So
I'm trying to be respectful.
Yeah. So there are about 600 bills currently on the table right now. I think 36 of them passed. I could be a little bit behind on how many have passed. But specifically targeting trans people. At that point, it's technically in stage 7 of legislative genocide.
Okay, and what's legislative genocide?
Yeah, so legislative genocide is using legislatures to start to commit a genocide, where sometimes it's just by literal force. It doesn't even go through the legislative stage. It just skips right to stage 9, which is the really bad part.
Okay.
So, and sort of like the stages of grief, it doesn't have to happen in order. So, legislative genocide would be like stage 7 or 8, where they're making laws and then putting punitive measures in place.
Okay. Now, on topic though, why would being trans be immoral? Like, I don't get that. Why is being trans immoral? Is being trans immoral to people? Like,
yeah,
My egg donor thought it was immoral.
Like, by definition, I don't see why it would be immoral. But anyway, I just wanted to ask that question about the acronym and stuff like that.
All right, no problem. You have a good day.
Sorry, I keep interrupting because of the timing on the voices.
No problem. You're doing fine. You're doing perfectly fine.
Yes. Some people take the stance that being trans is a choice, which it's not, and then that choice is immoral. So that's sort of the logic that people go through, or one of the forms of logic that people go through.
Right. It's funny. I used to think that being trans was a choice, but at the same time, I've always thought that being gay wasn't. Because I've actually experimented in the gay world, so I know I had to find out if I was straight or not. So, I had no shame whatsoever. But then I found out that one of my very close friends is actually trans, and that blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, sometimes
I had no idea.
Sometimes it takes different processes for people. Sometimes there are certain people who need to experience experimentation.
What's a respectful way to ask someone their pronouns? What is a respectful way to where you're not just bluntly being like, "What's your pronouns?"
My recommendation is when you meet a new person. My recommendation would be to introduce yourself with your own pronouns. Hi, my name is Matthew. These are my pronouns. That gives the other person the opportunity to do so if they would like to do so.
Okay. The other day, there was this.
That assuming is automatically a bad thing, but if you're not go if you're going to assume someone's pronouns, just be prepared to be corrected.
Right. Like there's this trans lady that works works at the gas station that I go to almost every night. And there were so many times I've called her sir, dude, bro, stuff like that. And then the other day, I actually asked her, I was like, have I ever like disrespected you in any way? Because like I feel rude as fuck. Even though I'm not part of that community, I still feel like everybody should be supported in some way, you know? But she was like, no, yeah, I thought you were rude as fuck a few times. And I was like, damn, I love that honesty. And this was what shocked me. She was like, well, a respectful question deserves a respectful answer. And I was like, huh, I thought I was being disrespectful just by asking that, but that's what's up.
Hey, we live and
I
we
think
learn.
too much.
We make mistakes, and the willingness to accept the fact that, hey, maybe you were rude. That's sign of growth.
See,
Sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like dude is. I feel like dude is a gender neutral term.
I don't like it. It's case by case basis.
If you're spelling it BRUH, I feel like bruh might be a.
I don't like it either.
Well, that's bruh.
Like
that's not bro. That's bruh.
Yeah, true, but I still don't like it.
Whenever I think of bruh, I think of the teenagers from South Park.
Yeah, I mean, so I have an opinion somewhere in between there. Like, I use it as a gender neutral term just innately. Well, not really bro, more like dude. I say dude a lot. But like Adora has specifically said it's not something she likes. So I'm more conscientious about not using it. Specifically with Adora or in spaces with Adora. Then it's just like, hey, this person doesn't like it. This person has whatever reaction to it. So I do more work when I'm in those spaces to be respectful of the space that I'm in.
Exactly. Yep. You're still good using it with your friends, with people who are comfortable with it. Just when people aren't, try to be aware of that.
I feel like whenever it comes to friends, like people should really like. One of the things I've noticed about every friend group is like a lot of friends will joke with each other or talk shit to each other about things that they wouldn't normally accept from other people. You know, like I have this one friend makes fun of my stutter all the time. So I make fun of the fact that he's missing a leg. You know?
Oh yeah, my best friend went
He's my
bald
best
before he
friend.
was 30.
And I call him Peggy all the fucking time because he's a good fucking guy. Man can cook his ass off. Sorry.
Yeah, my best friend
But,
went bald
you know,
before 30, and I make fun of him all the time for it.
I do want to move.
But I'm always.
Next guest. But Matthew, I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, I was actually about to tell you that, you know, I gotta do some D&D stuff, so I gotta get off here. Blessed be. I hope y'all have a good life. Be safe.
All right, you have a good one.
Do you want me to drop down, Adora?
That is completely up to you. Hello, Bertie. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing all right. I know I've had you up here before. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right. I know you're a bit upset with me. Is this something you wanted to say, or?
I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with the situation that happened a couple of days ago because I believe I got confused with another guest that had came on.
Definitely possible. My short-term memory is bad.
Yeah, because when you brought me on a couple of days ago, your question that you had on like your screen was which bathroom should you use, and I came on after a guest. She was clarifying, like saying, you know, only if you are on hormones and you know you look like a woman, you know, should you use the bathroom? And I said, I think you should use whatever bathroom that you look, you know, that you feel comfortable using. if you just, if you're a trans woman, but you just look like a man, like you're dressed like a man, you are even trying to live your life as a woman, I think that would pose a threat to women, and that would, be very confusing. And I was trying to like maybe clarify, and I could see how using a male bathroom would be violent, would be very violent for you. And we ended very well. You said, "Thank you, Bertie." I got off. And then it was like 2 or 3 hours later, I asked to come back on because I had a question. I subscribed. And then you were going to let me ask a question. And then you said, "Sorry, I can't let you ask the question because somebody paid money to kick you off." But that didn't happen. I know that didn't happen.
Okay.
So
I do remember that situation. Unfortunately, because I couldn't remember, I had to trust the people that were telling me that.
I just think they confused me with somebody else because I know we ended
sounds
on a really
like that's a
good note.
possibility.
So, Bertie, it sounds like you're taking it very personally. But remember that hosting a live is so hard. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that a host has to be aware of. And I hosted lives daily for about a year. And there are times we just get confused. People have similar names. People sound similar. People have similar profile pictures. So sometimes we just have to trust, especially when we're doing a monetary incentive, that we just have to trust ourselves. And sometimes we're wrong about it.
I might have gotten it wrong. If I did, I apologize.
I wasn't upset with you, but then they muted me, and that's what got me really upset. Was I was in the chat and I wasn't being belligerent, I wasn't being nasty, I was just trying to state my argument basically like I am right now, and I got muted, and that really upset me because I subscribed just so that I would be able to talk. And I wasn't cussing, I wasn't calling names, I literally was talking like I am right now, and the mods muted me. And I thought, are you kidding me? I just paid money to subscribe, and I'm not even allowed to talk either, and they permanently muted me from the live. And if you could put yourself in my position for a minute, how would that make you feel? You're not even allowed to chat now either.
I actually have an interesting story for you. That I did that once. I went into a live. I disagreed with the topic. Thank you so much for the sub. And I was very, very upset when I got muted. The topic at hand was something about is it appropriate to ask a person their pronouns? And they were saying that it was not a good idea to ask a person their pronouns. And I was adamantly in favor of asking people's pronouns. So I was pretty damn angry in chat. Rar, thank you for the baby dragons. Very, very angry about it, actually. And I was to the point where I was really not listening to what they were saying. And they muted me. And I got really, really mad about it. I went onto their page and I commented about how mad I was about it. And that conversation ended up sticking with me a lot. And it actually stuck with me so much that I've changed my mind. I no longer feel that the best thing to do is to ask someone their pronouns. And I was the one who was being an asshole in this situation. That's just my personal story. I was the one being an asshole, even though I was muted.
I've been muted in several lives before. It wasn't the point that I was muted. It was the point that I had paid to be able to chat in this live. If I was being belligerent or something like that, sure. But the fact that I was being completely respectable and wasn't cussing or being nasty, why was I muted for that? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So it's a common misconception that subscribing makes you more likely to be heard. You get held to a higher standard. There are privileges to subscribing, like you get into the Discord, you get sub-only chat, you get to comment when there's other people who can't, but we're also held to a higher standard. So even if I'm acting up in the comments, I could get muted.
I'm guessing you do opposing views, and you do welcome opposing views, and I wasn't even saying anything opposing. I was just typing, I think you got me mixed up with somebody else.
Entirely
That's something to get me muted?
Should, it is entirely possible that you were that I mistook you for someone else. That maybe some people in the chat mistook you for someone else. We make mistakes, and
No,
we
I
ask
know you.
for
Listen,
a
I
bit of
know you over
grace.
that, and I'm not upset about that. I'm upset about being muted for just typing. I think you got me mixed up with somebody else, and I typed it like 3 times and I got muted. I think I think you have a very close following, and they're going to come after me for the smallest things. I read the comments everyone's typing. It doesn't bother me. I have a lot of respect for you. That's why I
So,
subscribe
well,
to you.
here's what I would say here, Bertie. I would say that is it possible that I made a mistake? Yes, 100%, 100,000%. What I apologize for that, and it might have resulted in you getting muted as a result. But what I would say in that case is rather than continuing to go on about it, just wait until the mute is over. Our mutes generally aren't for the entire live, generally, or if they are, just wait for the next live and go back to participating. And I do want to stress that subscribing to my channel one of the perks for subscribing to my channel is not access to my live. Subscribing to my channel reduces the odds of you getting on my live.
Okay, that's fine. I just, wanted to make sure I clarified that I did not get kicked off your thing. We ended on a very good note.
I believe that 100%, Bertie. I do. I believe that I might have made a mistake there.
Okay. Well, you have a nice day. I just wanted to make sure I had that conversation with you. Thank you for bringing me on.
No problem. You have a good day.
You too.
I do also want to take a moment to appreciate my mods. My mods have a hard job, made even harder when I mess up. So mods, thank you all so much. They have a thankless job.
Can I tell you, Hot Dog, that you got some David Bowie swag going on?
Hey, I love that though. Thank you. That's thank you.
Hello.
Non-binary icon.
Hi, could I ask you a non-related question? I've been watching your lives for a while, and I just was wondering about something you said before.
I just need to know your age first.
I'm 19. Is that
I also
okay?
need to know if you've seen Carly Rae Jepsen. She's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's why I got my name. Yeah. I haven't seen her live or anything, if that's what you're asking. But one of your last lives you mentioned how you go on vacations and everything, and you pay taxes towards what you earn from lives. So I'm a smaller creator, but I do get sent money, and I also get live gifts. How does that work? Do you have
I don't know
somebody
yet. I haven't actually gone through the process yet. This is going to be my first time.
Okay.
I think if you make less than a certain amount a month, I think it's like 600. Don't quote me. I'm not an expert on this at all.
Yeah.
If I remember
But
correctly,
yeah, I
it's
think if you make less than 600, then you don't have to file. But I don't know.
On TikTok gifts or people that send you money, do you know at all?
Yeah. We got this is income. We got to pay taxes on it.
Okay, because I make more than that probably. So I just was wondering because I'm stressed about it because the year is ending and I'm
I'm
what
so
do I
stressed
do?
too. I'm so stressed.
And
I can't even begin to
I don't
describe.
really want to people that know me personally don't really know about my TikTok account, and I don't want to be hey, to the person that does my taxes, by the way, I have a TikTok
Less than 600 the entire year. Okay, so yeah, if you make $600 over the course of the entire year, then you got to pay taxes on it. So I got so many things that I'm going to have to file taxes for, and I don't know how to do any of it. Yes, I'm going to get an accountant.
Because TikTok only gives you 50% anyways, so whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
50% after Google or Apple get their cut.
Okay. You must.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the comments right now. If somebody could DM me if they're an accountant, the people commenting. Anyways, I won't waste any of your time. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And you can kick me off. I don't know how to leave. Sorry.
I'm literally just going to hire an accountant and be go, do it. Do your stuff.
Yeah, Dora, you don't want to end up like MC Hammer and be too legit to pay taxes.
Hello, Diane.
Hi everyone.
How old are
Um,
you?
well, if I tell you my age, you're going to just fall over. I'm 65.
65. All right.
Close to my
Um,
dad's age.
and it,
I had some questions, Adora,
okay.
because I have been following you since you started and all this stuff changed, right? And
Yep.
what bothers me now is everybody has to contribute to all these pages that they belong to, and it's like I don't even really put money into that too much. Every now and again, I would do the thing where you buy in for to give gifts to people until that money runs out. So I don't even understand how that works. And I didn't even realize I could actually come in and have a chat with you guys because it's like, oh my God, I so wish I could participate more than just do that. And I didn't even know I could do this.
Not. Well, here you are.
Yeah, I know.
Any
So
comment to that?
how do you contribute to this? I don't understand how that works.
Do you mean how do you
Like to
send
pay to be
gifts?
able to. Well,
There's you got a few options. If you want to support my page, there's a little gift right down here. You can click on that gift and you can send gifts that way. The
Okay.
second thing you can do is you can either subscribe up here or down here. That's a monthly $6 fee, and I get $2 out of that. And the third
Oh,
option
geez.
is to just send money right to my Cash App.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding is a lot of stuff that I'm familiar with on here that I've enjoyed the lives and whatnot and learning this stuff and that it frustrates me because it's like everybody's charging money now for everything. And I understand why. I'm not criticizing, but it's just like I didn't even know I could chat. And I love all this so much and I am Canadian and I find our society of things seem to work differently than in the States. And I really feel your pity because, or like, not your pity, but you know
I know
what I'm
it's
trying to
yeah,
say. It's
yes.
just not words.
You know
And,
what,
and
Daddy?
I do have a,
Can I stop eating my sharks?
and I just eating your sharks.
Yeah,
But
man, your Canucks beat my sharks like 3 times in a
oh, okay,
row.
hockey. Okay,
I'm sorry.
but I have been around all this like all my life. I do have a son that's gay and whatnot too, so I am familiar with some things. But just the terms and that I've been finding, Adora, that it's just so fascinating to me hearing from the American side and the different terms and that I haven't even been used to using. And then I think, oh no, because you hear that, and when you're not familiar with the term, they think that you're the bad guy, and it's like, no, I'm not the bad guy. I love everybody, type thing. And that stuff doesn't bother me and never has. So I don't know if I'm explaining myself right or not.
You're doing fantastic. Was there anything else you wanted to say or ask?
No, I was just concerned about how to participate more because I can't even text. So, in other words, if I don't pay money, because I am on your list on levels and that, but I've not sent
Yeah.
money in.
So basically, for the last hour of my live, I like to go sub only as a treat for my subscribers. And if you want to chat when it's sub only, you have to subscribe to my channel.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to understand that a little better. I know I'm not going on about the topics and that, but I really appreciate you guys and the knowledge that you bring and it's wonderful. And I just wish you guys didn't have as many problems as what we seem to. Like in Canada, it seems more free. And I feel so bad that you guys get hassled so bad.
I'm sorry.
All
Diane,
right,
can I
thank you so
say I
much.
love your accent?
You like my accent? Yeah,
I like,
I've
I
been
think
accused. I've been accused of that by American people before, and I keep thinking I don't think I have an accent.
All right, I
to
am a
me,
little
the
short on
Canadian
time, so
accent is one
I'm
of
going
the
to move on to the
nicest.
next guest.
Okay,
But
thank you so
yeah,
much for listening to me.
I appreciate you
Bye
so
bye,
much.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All
Yeah, I
right,
don't know why,
everyone.
but
So hang on one second. Sorry,
oh
we are
yeah,
short on time. I got 22 minutes left, assuming no new subs. Um, So let's make it opposition only, guys. Please, no flyby friendlies. She was very sweet. She was very, very sweet. Opposition only.
I don't know why, but nowadays I feel like hearing the Canadian accent is like the sweetest sounding to me.
Hi,
It is a good accent. Hello, Zara. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic. And what was I saying? How old are you?
Just so you know, I'm 20.
Great. Fantastic. And is being transgender immoral?
No, it isn't. I did have a question though. Why is it bad to ask people their pronouns?
I don't think it's bad. I just think it's not the best way to do it. So here's my reasoning. Let's say we've got a transgender woman, and she's feeling really, really good about herself. She loves her outfit. She loves her makeup. She really feels like she passes today. Just all the confidence in the world. And she goes out. Let's say she goes out to a restaurant, and she sits down, and she's about to place her order, and the waitress comes up and says, in the effort to be polite, they say, "Hi, my name is so and so. What are your pronouns?" And they're just trying to be nice. They're just trying to be polite. There's no ill intent at all. But they ask, "What are your pronouns?" Now, this transgender woman who's been feeling absolutely fantastic, like she passes, like she's on top of the world. This could take her down. This can make her, oh, this person is asking me my pronouns because I don't pass. They can tell that I'm transgender. That's why I say that asking pronouns is not automatically the best thing to do. There was no ill intent, but the end result was still triggering their dysphoria. Thank you for the sub.
But what if somebody didn't ask pronouns and then accidentally used the wrong pronouns? Would that not be worse?
That could be bad too. Misgendering someone obviously is also a bad thing. So my recommendation is when you don't know a person's pronouns, introduce yourself with your own pronouns. Hi, my name is so-and-so.
Okay.
My pronouns are this. And that gives the other person the opportunity to either introduce themselves with their pronouns, or they can say nothing at all. And if they don't say anything, then you are good to make an assumption based on how they appear.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anything else?
Yeah. Also, like, I don't really understand a lot of it, but I've been watching live for a long time, especially yours. But something that you did say a while ago was that you feel a lot of people have a lot of internalized like transphobia.
Yep. I'd say a fair amount of people
like,
have internalized transphobia.
I feel like I hate to admit it, but I feel like I do. And like I kind of wondered if like you kind of have any suggestions, like what do you think, like maybe where that does come from? Or like, do you think it's just genuinely not knowing?
I think it largely comes from ignorance, from lack of education, fear of the unknown.
Okay. Yeah,
Anything
I mean,
else?
I just wanted to like just ask that question. I just was curious because, me personally, from watching your lives, I did ask people like what their pronouns were and things like that if I was unsure, but maybe it wasn't the best idea.
I don't think it's a terrible thing to do at all. I mean, it comes from a good place. The goal is just to be inclusive and make people feel comfortable. I just think there's a better way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You have a go on.
Hot dog, were you popping for my Porygon?
Thank you so much.
I forget. Wait, there's multiple Porygons, right? There's like 1, 2, and 3.
Porygon evolves into Porygon 2, which evolves into Porygon Z when traded with a.
Yes. How you doing, Markator? You there, Markator? Autumn, you have some pretty bad background noise. Marketeer, I can definitely hear something. It's just extremely quiet. You there, Marketeer? Markator? I can't hear you, Markator. I'm sorry. I had to move on. I'm too low on time.
Hey, Adora, are you into punk/goth chicks?
I am.
Look up Rhea Ripley.
They've been spamming her on my Discord. Absolutely spamming her.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Ari.
I don't disagree or nothing. I just want to say I love and appreciate what we're doing. I go live all the time and I don't really debate or nothing. I'll try to educate and stuff, but you're fighting the good fight. I really
Thank you so
appreciate
much. Appreciate you. You have a good day.
it. Thanks. You too.
Bye.
I tell people all the time I want her to throw me up against the wall and start throwing insults at me in her accent.
All right, guys, we are very short on time, so please, opposition only, no flyby friendlies.
I'm gonna get going because I'm tired.
Have a good one, Autumn. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
More white tops. Like, can you guys see something or what? So I'm showing through.
No, white just looks really good on you. I've never served.
I can't get anyone to connect. We got 5 people requesting, guys. Let's see what we got. Actually, I just look beautiful. Thanks. Thank you for the sub. Yeah, we have lost a lot of time on friendlies. We haven't had a solid discussion in a bit now. I don't want to say lost time. We didn't lose time. We had good discussions, but they weren't the topic.
Hello.
Hello, Fire.
Hi, yes, my name is Dana.
Zaina?
Dana.
Dana.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you, please?
19.
19. And what year were you born?
2003, 2004. I'm in college.
Okay. You're good. Is being trans immoral?
No, I'm trans, but I just have a quick. So I feel like why do we have to call each other trans? Why can't we be women? Because we are women.
I don't think we do have to call each other trans.
Okay. I'm gonna let other opposition go on here, but I respect you so much and I love you so much.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I'm 39.
39. All right. And is being transgender immoral?
What is being immoral?
To me, something immoral is something that causes undue harm to another person.
So something that causes harm to another person, did you say?
Undue harm, yes.
Okay. So, well, if it's a case of doing harm, whatever you guys do or whatever, I don't think you can cause any harm. But I would like to say, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, trying to understand what trans is. So it's trans more like just like a broad term that describes, let's say, for example, a gender identity, which is a little bit different from the way you were born. Is that right?
Sorry, what was that? The question? The question is, what is transgender?
Yeah, sure. So I want to try clear up so I understand, what trans is, right?
Sure.
So
Transgender just means that your sex and your gender don't align.
Okay. Is this done by choice or is it it's not a choice? So you don't choose. In other words, if you were born a male, you don't choose to change and become a female. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I mean, there's a little bit of difference as far as male and female, which refers to sex. Yes, I did choose to change my sexual characteristics. As far as gender goes, though, gender relates to your set of behaviors, expressions, and statements that we make about ourselves. That is not gender is not something you can change. Gender identity is not something you can change.
Yeah, but gender isn't it just like just like a knowledge of who you want to believe who you are. Like it's just something in you that makes you believe you certain belong in a certain category, right? Because it's not designed by anyone. I would like to say it's like your own knowledge that you are either a man, woman, or another gender.
I didn't follow.
All right. So the gender identity is more like your internal knowledge of your gender. It's like just you knowing who you are. Right?
Yeah. Just you. Yeah. It's your knowledge of yourself.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to say is, so for example, let's say you were born with male organs, and then your mind, you'll be telling yourself that you are not a male. Your mind, you'll be telling yourself that you're a female. So that's the gender identity, right? Because in your mind, you're saying, it doesn't matter, my biological features are, I am a female, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah. In my mind, I'm saying that I'm a girl. I'm recognizing myself as a girl.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. So in other words, you're disregarding the physical features. You're disregarding.
Right. So physical features are not related to gender. They're related to sex.
Yeah, but it's obviously sex is just more like used in medical and scientific context, right? And it's like a label, and sometimes, let's say for example, but what I'm talking about is it goes in line with your gender identity, okay?
Typically,
Because
not always.
well, if you can't really talk about gender without talking about sex, to be honest.
Gender does
Unless
not. The gender usually correlates, but not always.
Yeah. So I'm non-binary, and I do not usually mention my sex at all. Honestly, most often when people ask me what my biological sex is, I refuse to answer. I know what it is, but I refuse to answer them because it's none of their business.
Okay, so now you being refusing to answer, right? It's just your choice because you don't want to answer them, right? But if in a case, let's say for example, you want to be honest or you have to answer, would you say what's your gender is, or would you say?
Sorry, but biological sex is technically medical information. I do not have to give that to anybody, and it has nothing to do with my gender identity. Just like anyone's gender identity has nothing to do with their sex.
Yeah, I understand that, but so oftenly, people really have to go to do things medically so that it does express.
Nope. No one has to.
Well, I'm saying people, you do that.
There are cisgender women who most people would look at and just automatically think or not most people, sorry, that people would go around thinking that person was a man. It's not like it's not unlikely to happen. There are people who look more like the opposite sex, even though they're cisgender. Like again, you don't have to mention sex to talk about gender identity.
Yeah. No. What I'm talking about, I'm saying like there's no way you're gonna talk about gender and eradicate sex completely. You know what I mean?
We're not
Like
trying to
there's
eradicate sex.
Sorry?
We're not trying to eradicate sex.
Yeah. So, what are you guys doing? You're trying to say, obviously, these two things are different, but they go hand in hand, and there's
All right.
no way you can try to talk about gender and not talk about sex.
Okay, let's say you walk into a department store, right? And you need help finding a specific department. You want to know where the colognes are, right? So you ask someone, you say, "Hey, sir," or yeah, "Hey, sir, where can I find the cologne department?" And they say,
Yep.
"Actually, it's ma'am." Are you going to ask, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, what's in your pants though? Do you have a
Now,
penis or do you have a vagina?"
but
Like,
just due to respect, I mean, obviously, we respect people, right? I'm not going to go down and ask, right?
is that something that you would think about when they told you that they were ma'am,
What do you mean,
not
think
sir?
about?
Like, okay, if you walked up to someone and said, "Hey, sir, where can I find?" I said, "Actually, it's ma'am." Are you gonna, like, even if you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am," are you really going to think about what their genitals are?
Now, because if they tell me, if they tell me they are ma'am and I've said they're sir, I'm going to respect them at the end of the day, right? I'm going to respect whatever their identity they chose to be. I'm not here to disrespect people who choose to be, to say, I want to be identified as this and this. I'm not here to do that. But I'm just here to try and clarify that sometimes the gender, like if let's say, for example, I want to ask you something. If you die today, right? Let's say, for
And we go
example,
with the Bones argument.
Bones, I'm gonna stop you right there. So
no, I
I know
wasn't
what
talking about
I
bone.
know what
Sorry.
question is coming, so I'm gonna stop you and answer it anyway because we got 15 minutes left. I'm just gonna save time. You're gonna ask. They're going to, or you're going to either ask or say, how are they going to identify you? You're gonna, you're gonna think the answer is bones. Yes, technically it is bones because technically your teeth are bones, and they identify you by your teeth. Was I right? Was that where you were going, Bones?
Nah,
Yeah.
but I really appreciate
Let's be
you for
honest.
cutting.
I don't have two people up here.
I
Let's
appreciate you
be
for cutting.
honest.
I
Nah,
have no idea how I
Okay.
joined.
Surprise me.
all right.
So
So
surprise me. I'm so intrigued to know where else this could go. Genuinely, I'm so intrigued. Where, like, so you say you die. All right, cool.
anyway, so I'll tell you something. According to research.
Wait, no, I want to ask. Like, I want you to finish that point because I'm very intrigued to see where it could go. You were saying, say you die. Can we hear the rest of it?
So let's say you die, right? We can tell what kind of gender you wear by your elbow.
By your elbow.
Yeah, so I wasn't talking about the DNA like you're saying, talking about that. I wasn't talking about that. I was
What's the
talking.
difference between a male and female elbow?
Sorry?
I'm intrigued again. What's the difference between a male and female elbow? Which is a bone, by the way.
Well,
Well, it's joint technically.
so this is according to some studies and stuff, and it's not me who said it. They say like sex is typically determined
Listen,
by. Can I finish?
let's cut the bullshit.
Oh my
Let's
god!
cut the bullshit. I'm just like, what is the difference between a male and a female elbow? I don't care who said. Well, I do
That's
care
what
who
I'm
said
trying
it.
to explain to you, and I say this is not according to me. All right, I'm trying to do that, but you just cutting me off for no reason.
Fair. You know what? Fair. Someone just reminded me that I asked you to surprise me. So. I apologize. Continue.
All right, listen to this. This is a study, right? Researchers accurately estimate the sex of skeletons based on elbow features. All right, not the DNA that you were talking about, right? Okay, so forensic anthropologists estimate the biological profile, okay, which is a sex, ancestry, age, and structure of skeletonized remains for the purpose of
Okay,
identification.
I don't care. I don't
Is it a?
care.
Well, if it's a case of caring and stuff, then it's no discussion, because what about if everyone just says we don't care, we don't care, we don't care? There would be no discussion. We are here to try and just discuss about this. It's not a matter of caring or what.
Okay,
Because
so
if you didn't care, you wouldn't have this life, if you know what I mean.
I don't care what people think about me when I pass away. I care about how I'm treated when I'm alive.
But that's what you're asking then. You care about what people think is the being trans immoral. You
When
care.
I'm
That's why you ask the
alive.
question. You're asking a question and then you say you don't care. I don't get it.
You didn't even answer the question, honestly. I asked
How
you
am
what
I
the difference is between a male and a female elbow.
How am I gonna be finished answering the question when all you guys doing? I don't care. I don't do this. I don't like. How am I gonna do that? Like, is it a discussion? Is it some? Is it like I don't know. I don't understand. Like, how am I gonna be able to explain and fully
Are
explain and
trans
read what
people
I'm talking
harming
about
anyone?
when you
Are trans
guys
people harming
cut me
anyone
off?
by being transgender?
Sorry.
Are trans people harming anyone by being transgender?
People what? Sorry.
Are trans people harming anyone by being transgender?
Oh well, you're not harming anyone.
Right.
I don't
That's
think.
the topic.
No, but immoral is not just harm.
Okay. Well, what is it beyond just harm?
No, it's immoral. It's not just harm. So, we can't just tell. Sorry.
Sure. And I'm asking, what else does it mean to be immoral? If there's more than just harm.
So immoral can be like, for example, a society can decide what's moral and what's immoral. A country can decide what's moral and what's immoral.
That's
You know what I mean?
not the question. The question is, what is morality?
Morality is sometimes what's wrong and bad. And, if immorality, I mean, it's wrong and bad. Morality is some to determine what's between good and wrong.
Right. And what is wrong about being transgender?
Okay.
It's right. It's the difference between right and wrong. So what is wrong about being transgender?
Exactly. So now wrong and harming, they're two different things. You know what I mean? So when we talk about wrong, we talk about can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's right about being transgender?
Morally, there's nothing right or wrong about being transgender.
All right, then. So if there is if you were saying there's nothing wrong or right, and then you're asking a question, is being trans immoral? Did someone tell you that it's immoral?
Yes, all the time, every single day.
Oh, they did?
All the time.
Oh, what did they say?
I just want to correct some misinformation real quick. Adora, is that okay? I have to go back to the last point, unless
Sure.
I just want to. Okay, cool. I just read word for word. I know it's the right article because it's word for word from Boston University. They're not saying that is like better than anything else that you can identify sex with. It's just saying people will often dispose of skulls and pelvises to make it harder to trace it back to that person who was missing. So yes, an elbow can be used to get closer to an answer about who this person is, but it's not the sole determiner. The best determiner is still teeth. And then I want to go back to what Adora was saying. Just want to put
okay. Someone says that they sent me a Cash App. I have not received the notification. Are you sure you sent it to the right one? It's Adora 1111. 4 ones. 4 ones. If you sent it to the wrong person, try to get a refund. Okay.
All
Do you have
right.
anything else you'd like to say?
Yes. I want to ask you a question. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do.
Well, would you sleep with your brother or your sister?
Yeah, we're not talking about that. And the answer is no. We're not. Whatever line that you're going down, we ain't going that direction.
We're talking about morals, right?
Yep.
So it's is it immoral or is it moral to sleep with your brother or sister?
I have set a boundary. We are not going that direction.
Okay, no worries. I didn't know we have boundaries. You know, when you're asking
Yes, we have
questions.
boundaries.
Okay, no worries. Well, I feel like maybe you feel like you find your defeat there. That's why you set the boundary. But it's all good.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right, cheers.
Okay. How you doing, Just Emily?
Hi, I'm so sick. I'm so sorry I lost my voice. But I just wanted to say I changed my name to Just Emily with onions.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. That's
Okay,
amazing.
kick me off so you can.
Okay, I'm sorry about the confusion. I'm sorry about that. But thank you. Keep
You're
kicking ass.
welcome. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
I'm gonna set a boundary real quick. If you're changing your name to It's Onions, it has to be in lowercase because I get capitals.
Oh my God. Okay. Hello, Sophia.
Hi.
How old are you, please? Okay. Gab M, you are next. Gab M. Never mind. Hello, how you doing?
How's it going?
How old are you, please?
31.
31. Fantastic. And what year were you born?
I was born in 1991 in December.
Fantastic. And is being transgender immoral? Thank you for the sub.
Correct, it is.
It is immoral.
And I'll prove to you why. This is a Sahih Hadith. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam cursed effeminate men, those who are in the similitude and assume the manners of women, and those who assume the manners of men. He said, turn them out of your houses. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam turned out such men, and Umar radiallahu anhu turned out such women. So by definition, the Sahih Hadith says...
Not by definition, by your particular religion. Not by definition.
Correct, yes.
Can we agree on the definition of what is or isn't moral first? My definition of moral is something.
Morality is arbitrary and subjective.
Sure, I agree. But can we agree on the definition, though?
Okay, what is right and wrong?
Sure. What is the principles of right and wrong behavior, etc. That kind of stuff.
Correct,
So
yeah.
what? So I heard your statement, and so your religion does declare that there's something wrong with being transgender.
Correct.
But can you tell me what is wrong about it?
Ultimately, God gives you in such a manner and gives you a body to preserve, so you can't alter it beyond repair. Like I view tattoos as immoral. I view transgender to a greater degree as being immoral.
You don't have to change your body to be transgender.
Yeah, you do. You are. You are, in fact.
Nope. Transgender just means that your sex and your gender do not align.
Correct. But there's a difference between primary and secondary sex characteristics. Your primary sex characteristics define your gender.
No.
They do.
Can you look up a definition of gender real quick?
Okay, you're going to say it's a social construct, but by definition...
No.
It's not what was asked.
You're going to... What's the definition of gender?
Yeah.
Okay, gender. Okay, gender.
Read the whole thing. Don't stop after the semicolon.
Okay, gender refers to the characteristics of women, men, girls, boys that are socially constructed. This includes norms, behaviors, roles associated with being women, men, boy, or girl, as well as relationships with each other. As social construct, genders varies from society to society, it can change over time. That's a new age point, and I'll explain to you why that is wrong. Very, very simply. Because by definition, there needs to be a set standard of what is and what isn't. You wouldn't walk around saying red is blue and blue is green not everything is based off feelings. Things have to rely on arbitrary fact.
That's not inherently true.
That is true. When
So
does
I
1
mean,
plus
I'm
1
going to
equal
use
5?
science real quick first. I'm going to finish my point now. So I'm going to use science real quick and throw in your religion to like give a third option. So outer space is either infinite or it's not, and we're not really sure which, because we can sort of see the end of space, but we don't actually know if we're really seeing the end of space. Or it could be a firmament. So we don't actually know. And we can't go based off of your religion, because I believe more so in Greek mythology. I'm kind of more polytheistic or omnitheistic, because I think Greek mythology sort of holds like some really good points, but I also think that Roman mythology, Norse mythology. So I believe that because in Norse mythology there was a Garden of Eden, and that had an apple tree, and those apples kept the gods young. Loki, the god of mischief, and this is canon within the spirituality. He burned the garden and kept the apples. So I believe that Loki created Abrahamic religions by playing a prank, as Loki does, and convincing the world that he was the only god to ever exist, and that he created the world, and then gave Adam and Eve the apples, and that's why they lived for 900 years. And then convinced people that that's why there was original sin, and made people fear that, so that he could send them to hell, which also exists within Norse mythology.
Well, ultimately, morals are arbitrary and subjective. I think you have to look at what a community is producing to determine if they're right and wrong in this day and age. Right now, if you talk about, like, let's say the gay pride parade, and you have guys walking around in gimp suits being nude in front of children, I consider that immoral.
Yeah, that's not what a pride parade is. That's just something that happens at some pride parades.
Some parades, by definition.
So it's a well-known fact that something like New York Pride or San Francisco Pride, especially on the day of Pride, like the main march, those are not kid-friendly events. You can bring your kids, but it's not suggested, because they're very clear that there are going to be people who are nude. In New York, it is not illegal to be full frontal.
I think by definition,
but if you're doing something and unless you are fully aroused or literally standing in front of someone who's uncomfortable with it, those are the only reasons it would be illegal.
And now we're talking about, if we're talking about children, you're talking about Storytime drag show, we're talking about pushing ideologies on schools.
That's a pivot.
Yeah, these aren't pivots, these are facts. You're asking me what makes it immoral. I'm giving you what makes it immoral.
Or you have to show me that there is harm for that. And trying to get this taught in schools is not immoral.
Let's look up, let's talk about Jazz Jennings. She says she can't feel her legs anymore. So clearly...
I need a source on that.
Complications related to trans bottom surgery.
I heard of
pushing it on kids that are too young.
She's wheelchair bound now?
Yeah, she said she had complications with the surgery. So clearly...
I had no idea that Jazz Jennings was wheelchair bound.
I didn't say she was wheelchair bound. I'm saying that she's had multiple complications that she otherwise wouldn't have.
So if she can't feel her legs, she would be wheelchair bound.
No, she's saying that there's multiple complications.
Yeah, and I mean...
And I'm saying that by definition, you're pushing it on children when
So
their
you're saying
minds are
she's
not
in a
fully
wheelchair or
developed
she's not in a
is by
wheelchair? Can we
definition
just
immoral.
focus?
Let them wait till they're adults and then make those decisions.
Are you saying that Jazz Jennings is in a wheelchair or not in a wheelchair?
I'm not
Let's
saying
focus.
she's
What
in
are
a
you
wheelchair.
talking
I'm
about?
saying she's had multiple complications from that surgery and that she otherwise wouldn't have, and she shouldn't have been doing any of these surgeries.
And will you concede you made the claim that she could not feel her legs? Will you concede that point?
She said she's had multiple complications with her.
I've had multiple complications with mine too.
Yeah, and I'm saying
What does this have to do with her
children
legs?
shouldn't be going through these surgeries. So by definition, allowing children to go
Can
through
you point to me where we advocated for these surgeries? Sorry, Buzzy.
No, you're fine. I was confused.
Gender affirmation care, puberty blockers, letting
puberty blockers
people
aren't
transition
surgery.
under the age of
Puberty
18,
blockers aren't
that's by
surgery.
definition immoral.
I think any surgery specifically to alter the appearance of genitals on children is inhumane. I
Wait till
agree
you're
with you.
21. Or
I agree with you, and I will never advocate for that. And I know for a fact Adora and Buzzy will never advocate for that.
I'm saying,
I think
but we have to look.
circumcision, vaginal mutilation, and any gender-affirming surgery, unless this person's life is at stake and there's immense reason to do it at 17, they should. But I don't think. I think it's not predictable enough.
Circumcision to a bottom surgery. That's completely.
I absolutely will. Yeah, if you're taking a knife to a child's penis, to alter the appearance or just not have to do as much work to clean it, which actually is harder to to take care of a child recovering from surgery than to just pull back their horse.
A baby boy who goes through male circumcision is still a baby boy at the end of the day, not whatever gender you're choosing to identify at any given week.
Yes, you know what? Do you know what mutilation is?
Disfiguration and dismembering a body part. Yeah. And by definition, a penis is still a penis after circumcision. So
it's a disfiguring injury.
It's not. It's what God commanded us, and it.
Yeah,
I was circumcised. I
believe that your God, your book. So whether it's the Quran, the Torah, or the Bible, is a prank played by Loki. I don't believe that you shouldn't be able to have your beliefs, but you shouldn't be pushing your beliefs on other people.
I can if I believe that society is inherently better when they have these morals.
I don't. How many genocides has somebody based in Christianity?
Well, I mean,
which the Bible is very similar to the Quran, and the Bible is also half Torah.
I could just say, let's look at Stalin. What was his religious beliefs? What was Mao's religious beliefs? So if you're going to use these moot points,
Christianity,
people will commit genocide regardless of whatever belief they have.
And most of them in recorded history have been committed by Christians. And you think that that's moral?
Yes, it is, because it's what God commands.
So
silence was dead.
So murder. Yeah. Sorry, I used unaliving, deliberate, cold-blooded unaliving is moral.
Correct.
But
yes.
being trans is
yeah.
not.
And what do you call capital punishment? Is the electric chair immoral?
Immoral. I despise the life penalty. Number one, because nobody should have the right to unalive another person, even if they've done so themselves.
Will you say that if someone?
And I also believe that deliberate unalivers should spend their life suffering in prison.
If a serial killer murdered your whole family, and then
yes, I would. I would be like livid if they gave them the life penalty. I would be livid because now he gets a free pass and he doesn't have to suffer.
Correct. I believe that suffering comes from having to face what you've done. When you have to sit with yourself in that suffering, that is true suffering. You will live with that crime for the rest of your days. I, too, if my family was ever in that situation, would advocate against them giving somebody the life sentence because you don't get an easy pass out. You sit with that. Also, this whole conversation of morality is specific to you. Everybody's morals are different. You're talking about a situation that's specifically and inherent to you. And also, I don't know why you made this pivot to Stalin, but Stalin would be Orthodox Christianity.
He was an atheist. He governed under atheistic principles.
Yeah, but he also had a fundamental base of Orthodox Christianity, in which maybe in his later years he pivoted to atheism, but his fundamental base is Orthodox Christianity, which means he learned it from somewhere.
He also said he despised the Roman Catholic Church. So, I mean, clearly
Roman Catholic, okay. There's a lot of people that despise the Roman Catholics on this app.
And
what does this have to do with?
Yeah, I'm saying like he limited the church itself. So by definition, you can't say he was pro-Christian in terms of his governance.
A lot of people believe that Catholics aren't Christians.
I didn't say that he was pro anything. I said his fundamental base is Orthodox Christianity.
Not based on how he governed. Absolutely not.
It impacted something because he pivoted to atheism. So maybe we should, read the books and see what it was. And it's a weird
Yeah,
pivot.
and that and in the end, I believe that if he had a more religious basis, he would have killed a lot less people.
He fundamentally started as an Orthodox Christian, and that didn't change anything.
Yeah, and he didn't follow his religion properly.
This is not what we're here to talk about. Atheism is not a moral. It's not a moral thing. It's just a disbelief in God.
Yeah, and I'm saying that by definition, religious structures give people morals. So you have to act within that structure.
I have morals. I don't have religious structure. I have morals.
Religion doesn't equate to morals. Have you seen how many children have been harmed at the hands of people that sit at the heads of churches?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the book itself.
We're looking at the
It's a
Catholics,
religious
by the way.
framework to do. Ultimately, if you don't have a religious framework, you can justify anything. You'll justify hedonism.
With a religious framework, they justify anything. How many people get on this app and use the Bible to justify their horrendous acts on a regular basis? How many people come, as a matter of fact, we can use Adora as an example. How many people come in this live to Adora and use religion to attack Adora or be hateful?
It's not, well, I'm saying there's multiple ways. Ultimately, our morals are arbitrary and subjective. So if you
Which is what I
disagree with me,
stated
you
when I
disagree.
first started talking, that morals are specific for you. So using morals in this conversation is irrelevant because they're specific.
He's asking why is it being moral. I'm telling you why I feel it.
She.
Okay, they, them. But I'm saying
No. She.
Say her name or she.
Adora. Okay, so Adora said.
Abid. Is it a bid or a bead?
Abid, yes.
Abid. Okay, Abid. You're allowed to disagree here. Or I'm looking to have these kinds of discussions, the very kind of discussion that we're having right now. What you're not allowed to do is be disrespectful. So that does mean that you will respect the identities of me and my panel. So while you are up here, you will refer to me as a woman and use she, her pronouns.
Sure, Adora. Cool. But the point is, we have morals. You asked the question why people view it as being immoral, and you got an answer. If you disagree with it, then ultimately this is a free country. I'm not gonna like. I'm not gonna. If I see you in the street,
if
I'm
you
not
have a
gonna beat
specific
the hell
set
out
of rules you have to follow?
What?
How are morals subjective if you have a specific set of rules that you have to follow according to your
It's subjective
your-
because I have the right to follow this religion or not follow this religion. This religion gives me structure, so I choose to follow.
Sure,
it.
but if you follow that religion, you must follow that set of morals.
Yeah, and I'm saying it. I've seen people have free will, so they can choose what beliefs they want to follow or not follow. And
That
I'm
wouldn't be
saying that
a
when
moral
society
system.
has
There's only one true religion, right? There's only one true religion. All the others are wrong.
But I believe to a certain degree of universalism within religion. I believe God itself will respect those who have done good in this life, and God is a just
So you
God.
don't have to follow the rules of your Bible, of your religious.
I mean, you do have to follow the rules, but there is debate as to.
But you just said that your God will respect people who follow other religions, even though those religions have different sets of rules.
In this life, God will denote your good in this life. I believe you get into heaven through your works by being a good person. So,
do you think that well, I'm going to give you like how I base my morals because I don't use a book to do so. My morals are innate. They are just something that I have, right? Nobody had to teach them to me. Nobody had to tell me what morals to have. I just have them. My set of morals are do no harm to anybody unless your life is an imminent threat, is imminently being threatened.
Fair.
Like there is no other choice that you have. And the only way for you to survive is to do harm. That is my morals, point blank, period. That includes theft, because that does harm. That includes lying, because lying to a certain degree, because that can do harm. So, I mean, that's the base of my morals, and pretty much everything I believe follows that. Is that a good or bad set of morals to have?
well, I mean, they're still taught to you by a legal structure that follows Judeo-Christian.
I don't do it because it's law. I believe that the law should reflect just don't cause any harm to anybody. Unless your life is at
If you're going to make that argument, I don't want to pivot off what the last guest said, but if two brothers wanted to engage in homosexual activity, what is immoral about it?
I
If they
set a
both
boundary on this earlier.
But what is immoral about it? If there's no harm, if you're going
There
to
was
use
a
the harm
boundary set.
principle.
You could respect that boundary a bit.
No, but what based off the
There
no
was a
harm principle?
boundary
Clearly,
set a bit.
my
You
point
could set.
is
You
there's
could respect that
ingrained morals
boundary.
ingrained to us by God. So clearly, everybody draws a line. You're just arbitrarily choose. You just choose to ignore God Himself because you've replaced it with your own hedonistic individualism. And I'm saying I get mine. I live for something bigger than myself, which is my religion, which is the structure, which is my community. But if you want to just live with your own individualism that's based around hedonism and doing whatever makes you feel good, then I mean, that's your choice. We can all agree to disagree, right?
No, I'm not. When it comes to basic human rights, no, I will not agree to disagree.
Especially because you said a whole lot of nothing just then.
Yeah.
That's your opinion. At the end of the day, people with my values will say I spoke facts, and people with my values would say that you guys are fundamentally misguided.
Okay, just to circle back a bit, what are your values?
That you should follow the Quran and Sunnah, and that is the basis by which moral people who within my community live well. And if you're not Muslim, I think it's fine, but I think at the very least, you should have a religious structure or see inherent value in religious structures and maintaining these social structures within society.
Yeah, I believe that people who need a book to tell them their morals, to tell them what morals to have, are inherently immoral. They do not have morals for themselves. If you need a book to tell you what your morals are.
I think at the end of the day, God is the only thing that's infinite within this universe. So you should trust God on the basis of your morality.
Loki's not infinite.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Rar, thank you for the tiny penny. I will trust my own instincts. I will trust what I can observe, and I can observe that certain things cause harm. And when I observe that those things cause undue harm, I'm not going to do them.
So is gluttony immoral?
Is what?
Gluttony. Eating fast food all day.
No, it's not immoral.
You're harming your body.
You're harming yourself. When it causes undue harm to others, harming yourself is not a thing that I would consider to be moral.
Okay, I would say that if you're shooting heroin into your arm, you're harming your family as well.
I would say that if you have someone who's dependent on you and you are harming yourself, that would be a different story.
Correct.
Yeah, so not everything. The problem is you live for yourself. Eventually, you start harming others. If you're a pregnant woman, you want to take shots of alcohol, you're going to eventually harm the baby, but you're also going
Yes, that is harming another person.
Yeah,
which is
so
what
by
Adora
definition,
stated.
but
that
you
there's
guys don't
something-
consider a fetus a person.
We know a fetus is not.
Yeah, we're not getting into the abortion debate.
Yeah.
Jesus.
My
a fetus
point
is not a
is,
person.
there's morals. God's ingrained these morals into us. If you want to ignore them and live for yourself, that's do what you want
You
to do.
still
But
have
other
not been able
people,
to provide a single example of how being transgender harms another person.
yeah, it harms society.
Yeah, you haven't been able to provide that example.
Yeah, because it misaligns the social cohesion of society and confuses the nuclear
What social
family.
cohesion?
Okay, the nuclear family is the best way to maintain social structure.
There's no evidence. There's no evidence that at all.
Sure, I can find you PubMed articles that talk about the nuclear family, that children do best when raised by their biological parents.
Then do so.
So anything that deviates from that is
Right,
inherently wrong.
that's not the claim. You can be raised by your biological parents and have a mom and a mom.
Yeah, but I'm saying that by definition, children, there's a masculine energy that comes from the dad and a feminine energy that comes from the mom. And
You're not listening to what Adora is saying. There are children, there are biological children that are born to same-sex couples, where one of the people in that couple gave birth to said child.
Okay, has Caitlyn Jenner displaying his masculine energy when he
Her.
Listen,
I despise Caitlyn Jenner. I think she's a disgusting human being, but I'm still going to respect her pronouns, and you better do so too.
Can't goddamn stand it, but honestly and truly.
No, but I'm saying that right now there's a structure, a family, a mom and a dad, people living within that structure, and that's what makes
Caitlyn Jenner is a woman. Why are you pivoting?
Caitlyn Jenner votes Republican and understands value.
Caitlyn Jenner is an asshole, but that doesn't make her any less of a woman. Caitlyn Jenner can be an asshole and a woman at the same time. Caitlyn Jenner is both a woman and an asshole.
But I'm saying that there's structures to conservative values, and these values are worth upholding, and that's why these are good and ingrained. These are moral.
Whatever values you think align with conservatism, apparently Caitlyn Jenner does not hold every single one of those values. Caitlyn Jenner is an asshole,
they still see the value of upholding them to a certain degree. That's why people vote Republican. But we don't.
What value? So, what conservative values is Caitlyn upholding specifically as it pertains to this
Lisa
conversation?
believes that you should maintain free markets to grow the economy. That the family structure should be maintained at least to a certain extent. I don't know. I think they're pro-choice.
The family structure has to be, so that does not align because Caitlyn Jenner is in fact a woman, operates as a woman with her kids.
There's a number of reasons people vote right and people vote left. We're not discussing this.
She doesn't use they them pronouns.
Okay, I don't know. Use whatever pronoun. At the end of the day, if someone tells me whatever the pronoun, I'll just use whatever. I'll keep the peace.
And use them because we already corrected you.
Okay, I'm saying that right at the end of the day, if I see a trans person on the street, I'm not gonna fight them on it. But I'll give you an example, man. I was at the mall the other day.
This is a weird pivot. Go back to Caitlyn.
I saw a 2-year-old boy
operates as a woman with her kids. This is a weird
2-year-old boy.
Back
and
to
I asked
Caitlyn.
the parents.
Caitlyn operates as a woman with her kids. She's not upholding a specific family structure.
Yeah, but
her
I'm saying
kids refer to her as a woman. They talk to her as a woman.
Okay, are you talking about Caitlyn Jenner?
Even Caitlyn Jenner doesn't uphold a nuclear family.
Correct.
She has 2 divorces and I think 6 children.
Well, divorce is just an inevitable part of
6 children, and all of them
sometimes.
So all of them act like they're all full-on siblings, like full siblings, not half siblings. They work together. They do their work together as siblings.
They travel.
So it's not a nuclear family.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that in generally speaking, upholding values that maintain the nuclear family is inherent.
That's not how Caitlyn Jenner operates.
Well, I'm not saying Caitlyn Jenner is the best example of the nuclear family.
Then why did you use Caitlyn Jenner and then try to pivot when you realized it wasn't working?
To show that your group, the trans, is not a monolith, and there's people who.
But you're saying that Caitlyn Jenner upholds conservative values, and then one of the values you said that she upholds is the nuclear family. She does not uphold the nuclear family.
I'm saying that there's probably some values that she determines that are conservative in some capacity. I'm assuming.
Weird.
But what I'm saying is, if you ask why it's immoral, I gave you my reasons. If you disagree with it, then we have fundamental different views about religion. If you had my values about religion, you might have a different opinion about this.
That's why morals are subjective. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm saying, and you asked why someone finds it immoral, and I gave you my reasons for why I find it immoral.
You didn't really answer why you find it immoral.
I did.
You talked about your morals.
I gave you my religion, and I don't like what's happening in the schools, and I don't like.
There's nothing happening in the schools. There's no
I think when
America that
family
talks about
structures are
transgenders.
broken down, it's leading society down a wrong path, and I think society was better off maybe in like the 50s to a certain extent, at least in terms of marriage and family.
The 50s, when Jim Crow laws still existed.
Yeah, I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about, look at the divorce rate then. People get married.
Why were they not getting divorced? When were women able to have their own independence?
The marriage rates are declining. Suicide, unalive
Why
rates
were
are
people
declining.
not getting divorced? When were women able to have their own independence?
People are better
Why
when they
were
maintain
they
the
not getting
structures of
divorced?
family.
When did women have their independence? Why?
You think burning a bra makes you independent? You're mistaken.
No, there were specific things that happened in the United States of America that gave women their independence.
Yeah, I'm not speaking about the United States. I'm saying, I know there was a March for Independence, and I know that there's.
This is not what I'm
feminist
talking
movement.
about. There were specific circumstances that took place. Like, for example, women could not have their own bank accounts, could not operate credit cards without permission from their husbands. What specifically happened? Why were people not getting divorced? What was happening in the United States?
You're saying that the women. You're saying that women were more had less freedom, and they were less educated, and they were more bound to their man because as a means of social survival. So you said now that women got more education, they are more likely to divorce because they.
Another question. So again, taking my knowledge of the Bible and assuming that the Quran is similar, so I might not have this accurate, but doesn't it also say that you shouldn't force religion on other people, and that the Quran's rules are for you to live by?
So many burning bras on my
It
Discord
says there's
right
no
now.
compulsion in religion, but I could look at a society and say this society is going down our own path.
Does not your Quran state that it is immoral to push your religion onto other people, and that they are the rules for you to follow?
Well, it depends. If it says in the Quran, you have to follow the law of the land. So if you're living in a non-Muslim country, you have to abide by the laws of that country. If you're living in a Muslim country, if you live in Saudi Arabia, then you would have to adhere to my values by definition.
No, I don't have to adhere to your values.
Yeah, why
So
not?
if the law doesn't state that being transgender is illegal, is it not immoral?
Okay, I'm saying the morality is arbitrary and subjective. I'm giving you my reasoning for why I think it's immoral. And I feel like society is going down a bad path in terms of social
think you're
structure.
horrible at answering
You're blaming
questions.
transgender people for it.
Yeah, a part
I'm
of
going
it,
to take
yeah.
a leap and say that it does say what I thought it said.
Okay,
So I'm
how
going to take a leap and
is
say that it
story
does
time
say what I
so
thought it
moral?
said, and you don't want to answer.
Why do you keep
Because
pivoting
it
back
does
to
say
kids?
that,
Because
and
you
it
don't answer
disproves your
questions.
point, and it just shows inconsistency.
What is the question? I'll answer your question straight up.
You've
So
never
does
answered
it?
the question straight. My God.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. He's just like it's a weird pivot. So there's a lot of things that you've said, even in the last couple seconds, that would be like a merry-go-round. So we're just gonna start from the top. Specifically in the United States of America, women weren't allowed to have their own bank accounts till 1974. That's when women were able to have a bank account. And as opposed to what you said about women in survival, it wasn't survival. Women stayed in marriage because they were oppressed. They were not legally able to get their own divorces. They were not able to do so. That is oppression. That is not survival. That is oppression, pure and simple. They didn't have access to their own incomes. In a lot of cases, they could not have their own jobs. They could not spend money without permission from their husbands. That is oppression. And you seem to think that that's better. And mind you, that women were just able to get bank accounts in 1974.
I can tell you what, look at depression rates are at an all-time high, and that's also correlated with the decline of marriage. So
No,
clearly,
because at that time, the reason why, so there was a 94 crime bill that happened in the United States of America, and a lot of horrendous things happened with that crime bill. But the second biggest reason why that crime bill came into play is because of violence against women, the harm that was just being disproportionately on women that were in relationships with men. They were being beaten to the point that statistics were doubling.
I'm going to show you married women are happier than women.
Married women in the history of the United States of America have not been happy. They have been beaten, abused, and traumatized. That is why independence happened.
They're different. My values will leave women down to happiness because they'll have a path. They'll have children.
Your values sound like
Doesn't your religion
with 5 cats, and they're going to be 60 years old and crying. That's the difference.
Your values sound like you want to chain women to a kitchen table. To be honest, that's odd behavior.
Women are happier when they're married. You want women to have 6 cats and being alone.
Hi, woman here, happily unmarried.
You can think that, but I'm saying that you
also instruct.
Life. I don't know what to tell you.
Doesn't your religion also instruct? And again, just going based off of my knowledge of the Bible, so it could be incorrect. Doesn't your religion also instruct men to beat their wives in certain situations?
No, it's not. It's not beat your wife.
Are you sure?
No.
You're positive?
Nobody should be abusing their wives, period. Let's start off with that. There's ways to be. If you're respectful, you won't abuse your spouse. I know the verse you're going to quote, but that's been mistranslated, and they've taken it out of context.
Oh, fantastic! I'm glad that you recognize that it's been mistranslated.
Does say that. So can't it also be the truth if it was mistranslated? Can't it also be the truth that what you just read to us earlier is also mistranslated?
I know the verse in Arabic.
Because I'm pretty sure the Quran says you can strike her. It doesn't specifically say it says you can strike her. It means you can hit her.
Strike and hit are two different words. And there's a bunch of steps you have to take before you go through that round. And it's basically it's a flick. That's when you look at the word in Arabic, it's like a flick. So that could be that a flick is very different than a strike. And that's basically to startle. If someone is like coming at you,
I thought it said to use a switch.
Yeah, it's a flick, really. So at the end of the day, that's not a
It's a
hit. That's not a
flick.
strike.
Wait,
You
yes,
want to
yes,
take
it says switch. It says to do
Islam.
the
It's
switch.
you're angry that Islam. If you had Islamic
Oh,
values,
I'm
you'd
not
be a lot
angry.
happier than you are
I'm not
than you are.
angry. I think that you're inconsistent, and I think you're a disgusting person.
I think that you lack a genuine moral framework that is
My
conducive to
genuine moral
happiness.
framework is do no harm unless your life is at stake.
No, your values are live for your own desires because you're hedonistic
No,
and inherently
no.
controlled
My
by the devil.
values are I can do what I want unless it causes undue harm to another person.
And that's what Satan tells you. That's the whole point of hedonism. You're
Can we
doing
go
whatever
back
makes
to
you
this
happy at
whole
any
flick
given
thing?
time.
Because I'm pretty sure what happened is that one of the wives, he himself struck one of his wives in the chest. That's not a flick. That's hitting her in the chest. So can we circle back
Pull
to
up
what's the
that. Was
difference
that a
between a
Sahih
strike and
hadith?
flicking?
Which hadith are you pulling that from? Are you an Islamic
Guys, I'm gonna
scholar?
do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do it. Y'all ready? Ready for this a bit?
Come on, bro.
This is my card. I am a card-carrying member of the Satanic Temple.
So clearly you don't have morals. You're a card-carrying member of the Satanic Temple.
So the seven tenets of the Satanic Temple are actually great morals to follow. They do no harm to anyone, and they promote positivity and wellness among the people.
It's called hedonism. You're living for yourself, and you're not living for something bigger than yourself.
Wait, do you think positivity and wellness among communities is not cannot be good? Can be bad?
I think
Positivity and
it can be
wellness.
bad if it goes against God's rules.
Okay, so let's circle back to that whole wife beating thing. Quran 434 states that men
I
are the
know that.
maintainers of women and tells husbands that in certain circumstances they should, among other things, beat them. Although hadiths narrate that Muhammad did not himself beat women and told men not to beat their wives too harshly, at the same time he provided a taxant approval of wife beating, mildly referring to husbands who beat their wives as not the best among you, reportedly forbade Muslims from questioning men who beat their wives, allowed his closest companions to slap his wives, known as the mothers of believers, reaffirmed the command of wife beating in his farewell sermon, and himself struck one of his wives in the chest. In addition to Muhammad's actions, 3 of his 4 rightly guided caliphs are also reported to have beaten women, a reoccurring pattern, especially in the case of Umar. Because of its many endorsements within Islamic structure, wife beating was permitted by Islamic jurisprudence and understood as a means of enforcing obedience to husbands, albeit with countries or being largely ignored by the authorities, while reformist scholars reduced the Quranic command to a symbolic gesture, a tap with a small stick, or an attempt at other interpretations. So in fact, he was talking about beating your wife. He did allow it. And there were multiple
taken out of
circumstances as if the
context.
wife were beat. So with that, I bid you adieu.
I'm
with
saying
this
you're wrong.
conversation.
I can bring you
You
tons of
can feel
hadith.
how you feel, and it is also stated here that it
Yeah, I'm
has
saying
been reduced to a tap with a small
with a
stick
miswak.
or
That's
an
not a beat.
attempt at other interpretations. I don't care about your interpretations
That's
because
completely
what
wrong. A
happened
miswak,
happened.
but a flick with
I
the
don't
tooth
care how you
is
feel.
not a
What
beat.
happened. He hit her in the chest, and other
Yeah,
women were beaten by
a
his
flick with the
companions.
miswak, which is just a little stick.
He did not flick her. He hit her in the
That's a
chest.
flick. That's
He
different.
did
That's
not
completely
flick her.
different.
He hit her in the chest.
What is it? What is a hit?
He
How
did
do you
not
hit?
flick
With a
her.
fist? With an
He
open
hit
fist?
her
With a
in the
flat?
chest.
What does hit
There
mean?
was no flicking.
Define
He
hit.
hit her in the chest, just
Define
right in
hit.
the solar plexus.
Wait, so I have a clarifying question. So if you can hit your wife with a switch, why can't I hit you with a switch?
In the solar plexus, preferably.
I'm saying that's not. It's not. I'm saying it wasn't a hit, but we're gonna say that there's
It
rules
was a hit.
between
He
assault.
hit her in the chest.
Answer the question. What is the difference between my wife and you? Why can I hit my wife but not you?
If you want to hit me, go ahead and hit me.
No.
Go ahead.
Is
Take
it
a shot.
acceptable? Is it acceptable to do so?
Well, I mean, in our society, we have rules around assault.
I'm not asking about society. I'm asking to you.
If you want to swing at me, I mean, go ahead. But I mean, if I swing back at you and
No, I'm
you get
asking you to
knocked out, then that's
clarify.
okay.
So let's say assault is not illegal. Okay, let's pretend for a second that assault is not illegal. Why is it okay for me to hit my wife, but not you?
I'm
Okay, so
that's a
no,
false
explain to.
premise
It's
because I
fine.
don't
I'll use
believe it's
someone else.
right to
I'll
hit.
use someone else because, like,
You can
okay,
ask
but
my wife if she's
why
ever
is it
been hit.
okay?
These are foolish
Why
arguments.
is it okay for me to hit my wife, but not to hit Buzzy?
I'm saying it's not okay to hit anyone's wife or hit your wife.
Yeah, but what you said should be the moral foundation says that you should hit your wife. It says it's
not.
okay. And also,
I'm saying you're misconstruing
It says to use a
I'm not
switch.
misconstruing it.
It says to use a switch.
It's not a switch.
Is
A
a
miswhack is a stick. It's a very small stick.
a stick,
A
a
stick
switch.
and a
Okay,
switch
that
is
is
the same thing.
that
This
is
is
a
weird.
solid whip. It
That's
is a
not a whip.
solid whip.
If you go, a miswhack is very small.
So now
Let me
you're
look up a
arguing about
miswak.
the size. You know what?
Yeah.
You're arguing about the size.
Yeah, it's
Really?
very small, and it's used for strike and hit. Or you misconstrue the words. And you
Strike
take it
and hit are the same thing. Should we
I'll
look
give
at the
you some.
definition?
It also
Should we look
says
at the
in the
definition? Strike
hadith.
and hit are the same thing.
It also says in the hadith, if you use your hands in an unjust way, your hands will talk against you on the day of judgment. So they'll say you used us for it. So I could just say that my hand will talk against me and say if I hit my wife, and that'll be a sin against me. It also says in the Quran, paradise lies at the feet of your mother, meaning you have to respect your parents, and by virtue of that, you have to also respect them. So right there and then, I'm
strike and
saying
hit.
you could use the religion.
Let's talk about the difference between strike and hit really quick. Hit implies that two things are making contact with force and speed. Knock means that a surface is struck forcefully such that it makes a sound. Strike is a violent blow to a person or thing, as with a fist, weapon, or hammer. Beat is striking someone or something repeatedly so as to cause injury. So they are respectfully the same thing. Get a grip a bit.
They are not. You misconstrue words.
They are.
I have one last moral based question. Is exchanging people as property moral or immoral?
You're going to use the slavery argument.
No, I am not going. I'm not using the slavery argument. Is exchanging people as property moral or immoral?
I'm saying that occurs in the U.S. right now in the prison system.
I'm asking you a question and you seem to be avoiding it, likely because the answer for you is yes.
Depends on the context.
In which context is slavery okay?
Well, I'm saying that you look at the prison system. There's conditions to slavery. So if you treat your slave
Prison is not slavery.
Yeah, if you treat your what you call a Chinese factory in modern day, that's slave labor, is it not?
But the fact that the Chinese do it today doesn't make it okay.
Hold on. I want him to answer this question. And Adora, you
What
can
do you
stop
call
me.
the prison system in the U.S.?
I'm asking you a question. Is the exchange of humans as property moral or immoral? Or is it amoral to you?
I don't view slavery as moral, no.
Do you view it as immoral?
I view it as a part of a time within the
I'm not
context
just
of the
asking
society.
about slavery. Again, is the exchanging of human beings as property? Because I'm going to tie it directly back to your book.
Well,
Your fucked up little book. So just answer the goddamn question.
You're saying you have good morals, but yet you insult my book and my value system.
Yeah, your book has problematic
Yes,
content.
I do believe that pouring hot oil on people, stoning people, whipping people is disgusting and immoral.
And I'm saying
yes, I will insult your fucking book.
And I would say, I'll tell you, read the book cover to cover before you judge.
No, absolutely not, because I'm not going to pick and choose and cherry pick, right?
Yeah,
my morals,
you
my
take things
morals
out
are
of
set, and I
context,
don't
and
need
you
a
li-
goddamn book to tell
Let's
me
see those
so.
cherries and jackass.
Maybe you should actually read a book before you judge it.
You are deflecting. Answer the
Okay,
question.
you're going to say it's immoral. Look at Mother Teresa. Look at the life she lived.
No.
Is Mother Teresa more moral than you?
Deflecting. Answer the question.
Look at Mother
You're
Teresa.
deflecting. Answer the question.
Okay, look at how many people Mother Teresa
You're deflecting. Answer the question.
Okay, go.
Is the exchange of human beings as property moral, amoral, or immoral?
Okay, I would consider that in most contexts it's immoral.
So what is the difference between exchanging your wife as property and exchanging your daughter as property and exchanging a human being who has nothing to do with you as property?
That's
What is
a
the
false
difference?
premise. When did I say my daughter was my property?
Your book does.
It doesn't. You give a meher.
It says that and I know this for a
No,
fact from
it
the
doesn't.
Quran. It's one of the only things that I know for a
It says
fact
men
about
are
the
the
Quran.
maintainers of women. So by definition, the Quran upholds the value that men need to
It
protect
describes
women.
marriage as being an exchange
You do. You have to give a meher in order to facilitate the nikah, and that's a sum of money that's given to the
So
woman.
what is the difference between a daughter becoming a wife and a person being shipped from overseas?
That's completely different because you have to give that money to that woman, and that money is for her to keep in a traditional Islamic household. A man is responsible for all financial means of the house, all the bills. Nothing is split 50-50. A man is responsible for everything. A woman's money can entirely be kept to her. So you're going to tell me, and not only that, he has to maintain her, he has to protect the family. By definition, most women in the West would be happier in a Muslim marriage than they are currently.
Wait, so all of the
your money would
countries,
go to
all of
you.
the countries that practice Sharia law, are anti-Muslim now, because all of them prohibit women from owning property
5 minutes left, guys. 5 minutes
having
left.
money.
Which country? Saudi Arabia?
I know Saudi Arabia.
Women are happier in Saudi Arabia than in Canada and America.
Okay, but
Statistically not.
But still, if they prohibit women from owning property or exchanging money.
Yeah, but it also says all your money.
Yes, so if the Quran says that a woman's property and money are her own, then all of those countries are anti-Quran.
It says they can. But if they're not letting women buy property, then they're not following the Quran.
You can't even. You're deflecting again.
Yeah, I'm saying then they're not following Islam properly.
Okay. So it's only what you say, right? And
correct.
The rest is
I
inconsistent.
base my evidence off the Quran and Sunnah.
So you think that murder is moral? You think that slavery is moral? You think that whipping is moral?
Though you're taking things out of context. The Quran doesn't advocate for any of that stuff.
It does. Okay, so is pouring hot oil on someone moral?
That's immoral. Why? Where does it advocate
Quran
for that?
says it is okay in certain circumstances.
In what circumstance?
I don't know the specific circumstances.
Which surah does say that?
I'll double check it.
Find the surah, bro. Pouring hot. Like what? You're making a baseless claims against Islam. Because
let's make this simple. Is it okay for a female child to be married?
Children should not be getting married. No. If you're going to say
that is against your holy book.
Aisha was not a child because she was not a child. Because by definition, a child is someone who's prepubescent. The marriage was consummated after puberty, and within that age, in the context of
that. As most female humans go through puberty at age 12, 13. You think it's okay for a man to consummate marriage with a 13-year-old?
Historically, that was the age of marriage. That Mary was 12, according to some sects in the Bible. If you're going to bring up
no, I'm asking.
Rebecca was 3, according to some, when she was married. If you're going to make up these,
okay. If you think that's okay,
I'm saying you have to follow the law of the land. If you're going to talk about my personal thing, I married my wife. My wife was 29 years old. I was 30. So
would you give your own child, your own daughter, to be married by a guy at 14?
I live in Canada, so no, because I want my child.
So you're against your holy book.
I think it's within the context of that society that made sense. But
hold on, read. So I'm just coming back with what you asked me to find, but. So can you read Sirach 18:29 for me out loud?
Okay, let me pull it up here. Surah 18, verse 29.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I see the end says they will be given water like boiling oil that will scald their faces. But I want you to read the beginning for me.
Okay, just give me 1 second here. Surah 18, Surah Al-Kahf, verse 29. Let's see this here. And say, O Prophet, this is the truth from your Lord. Whoever wills, let them believe, and whoever wills, let them disbelieve. Surely we have prepared for wrongdoers a fire whose walls will completely surround them. And when they cry for aid, they'll be aided with water, like molten metal, which will burn their faces. What a horrible drink. What a terrible place to rest. Yeah, disbelievers will face this punishment of hell. What's the big deal?
Yeah. So if your God is all good and all powerful, then putting boiling water on people to scald their faces like molten metal is moral.
Yeah, that's
Is
part
that
of the punishment for hell because you lived an immoral life. This life's a test.
and it also says, whoever wills, let them believe. Whoever wills, let them disbelieve.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are you here breaking your Quran?
Yeah, and I'm telling you why I believe those values are immoral. But
So
am I going to stop you from doing whatever you want to do? No. If I see you on the street, I'll shake your hand. Why not? And we can disagree to disagree. But I'm not going to stop you from letting you live your life. But at the end of the day, we have disagreement.
Bye.
Okay, have a good life, man.
Thank you so much, Dano.
Bye.
Mm.
I was going to come up to talk how the Quran actually allows for child marriage, and actually, if the parents want a female child, can be married before reaching puberty, and the act can be consummated after they reach puberty, and that's why we have in many Sharia law countries we have a lot of underage marriage, and that's horrid. That's absolutely horrid.
That is my second body in 2 days.
And awesome way to reboot him, hot dog. Sorry if I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. You didn't really interrupt me. I interrupted you. I apologize for that.
Thank you
again. That's okay. You were here before. Well, I have to get out back to code. You're the best, Adora.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry for
God,
commandeering that.
Was
sorry for commandeering that and interrupting everyone.
I've got to
I
be
feel
honest.
like I've got to say my piece. Sorry, but I totally interrupted you.
Oh, no, you're okay. I was just going to say, I've got to be honest. I've had a lot of conversation in my day. I have. But I've never seen someone spin the block so hard every time their point did not hit. Like, the fact that we ended up having a conversation about Stalin is crazy.
And for everyone typing L hot dog, let's say this was a true debate, right? Your goal in a debate is to find the inconsistencies in your opposer's argument to the point that it's invalid. I found all the inconsistencies, evidenced by the fact that he refused to answer a question, because it did say exactly what I thought it did, and it's logically inconsistent. So whether you think it was an L or not, in a real debate, it would be a W. So I don't care.
So for the people in the comment section that keep worried about the fact that hot dog is in their car, it's quiet in their car. Like, quiet. The car is quiet. The car is also not in motion. The car is sitting clearly in a parking lot. It's quiet in the car.
Yeah. Hot dog knows my rule. Hot dog, and he respects it. Okay. Guys, I appreciate you all being here. If you enjoyed these conversations today, please consider giving me a follow. I go live twice a day, 5 days a week. I will be going live again tonight at 8 at the latest. I'm thinking about moving my entire schedule up a bit. So I might go live at 7 tonight. Because I do want to get to bed earlier and I want to wake up earlier. So yeah. So I'm thinking about moving my entire schedule up. I'm probably going to try to continue doing the early morning lives. I'm going to target 7 a.m. That's a big we'll see on the 7 a.m. Eastern time, by the way, Eastern time. I really appreciate everyone being here. I appreciate everyone who sent gifts. I appreciate everyone who subscribed. I appreciate everyone who just tapped the screen and shared. I appreciate you all. Especially appreciate my mods. They have a thankless job and they do a fantastic job. Appreciate them so much. And thank you to Buzzy. Thank you to Hot Dog. You guys are amazing.
I'm merely just a bee. Bye.
Okay. Is Reggie still alive? Reggie is still alive. So yeah, we are going to raid Reggie, aka Not Reggie. Everyone go to Not Reggie and just put some ants in the chat. No more than 1 or 2 comments. Don't go crazy spamming 3, 4, 5, 6 comments, but put some ants in Reggie's comments. Not Reggie's comments. I will see you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.